9 o'clock, please join us in pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Happy Monday morning.
Ready for a good hot week.
Good hot week. First on the agenda is to approve the minutes of last week, whatever date that was.
Number 4.
The 5th.
Yeah. So moved.
Tom
I'll
moved,
second.
Don seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. That concludes our book. So, slow day with the book. We'll hit the 9:05 economic development. Bobby Skipper.
Thank you, Chairman, Commission. Thank you for seeing me this morning. And I brought 3 executable copies of a loan agreement and promissory note for Jade Seed and Outdoor Supplies. It is a company here that's located in Burlington.
I'll just have to share.
I'm so sorry. I should have printed off 2 copies.
That's all right. I'm like out of that one anyway. Sorry, I just have to remember.
This is a standard loan agreement and promissory note. It's used on the same form of all of our other loans.
This is just a payment program.
And that loan is to facilitate expansion of inventory and other improvements for a company here in Burlington that sells seed, outdoor supply-related hunting facilities. It's located there next to Crow Motti. You've probably seen it over the last year. It started out at a rundown old building that was then purchased by a local and fixed up. Not just fixed up, but actually really made to look nice. Not just on the outside either. The interior of the facility has a whole retail storefront. The rest of it is warehouse space. The perimeter of the property was improved. Fences were put up. And on the property you've seen over the last year, lots and lots of new inventory there. Neat thing about this specific business, they sell big ticket items. So they produce a lot of sales tax. Much like an automobile dealer. In fact, this specific business for the city of Burlington would produce as much sales tax as some of our fast food joints annually. So it is going to be a big sales tax contributor. And this company has reached a point in its volume of sales, it is going to employ retail salespeople, person to work at the store itself. This company is heading into its heaviest season, the hunting season, which is starting to ramp up now, and this company expects to reach $500,000, close to $500,000 in sales by the end of this year.
I know they've already got a good start.
Yes, sir.
There's been a lot of supplies already sold out there, that's for sure. A lot of activity already.
Yes, sir. So, my request today is that the commissioners approve this loan and authorize the chairman to execute the agreement.
Wade has read everything.
I don't know. I haven't heard from Wade in a while. I did send it to him about 2 weeks ago.
I quickly reviewed it. It looks, I mean, without going line for line and page for page with the other loans that we have done, it's within the close proximity of.
It looks like it's,
I don't have any problem, but Wade finds one little thing, we're redoing it.
Yeah, I don't know what the time.
Is our attorney supposed to be back this week?
I think he walked in.
He's
I think
here.
he walked in today.
Well, would the commissioners be willing to approve pending his review?
Let's just have him check it and then
Yes,
we
sir.
can go from there.
We got a light
That way
day, he can,
there's no-
he's probably gonna have time, he could probably review it
Yeah.
and bring it to us, later, cause we're gonna go over budget for a little bit.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't want to have to go back because of some little word.
Understood. Well,
just to look at it, everything does look great, but we normally have Wade sign off on stuff too.
of course, I totally understand.
I'll
What?
need those copies back. There'll be 3 signature pages.
Two
Two
originals.
signature pages, okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I've already marked on this one,
Okay, we'll leave that one out.
marked some of the highlights of it.
We'll table that for now. Brenda?
Yes.
Citizen, or Central National Bank?
Yes.
You're up.
Okay, made it. All right. Well, good morning, guys.
Good morning, Brenda.
I wanted to just come and discuss the financing of the Justice Center. So I see that it's going to a vote August 2nd. It looks like there's a bond, but I was just wanting reassurance that the banks in Coffee County have an option to finance this project. Because we were approached last year by Wade and Bobby. I contacted all the local banks. Majority of them were interested in the project. So I want some assurance that this isn't the only option, the bond. Because the voters, I mean, if I looked at the paper, it looks like it's a done deal. So I haven't been to my town hall meeting. I know you've had them all but one. So I guess I wanted to hear from you all.
I don't think the ad hoc committee had anything, I don't know, it wasn't part of the ad hoc committee, so I don't know if they researched any local bank financing.
Well, we gave, and the banks all knew what our bid was, because Central National Bank is going to take lead. You need to let the voters know that there's option for financing, if there is. It's my understanding there is. I would want to think that you would want to give the best financing option if you're going to go through with this.
Mhm.
So,
To my knowledge, I don't believe we have seen any type of finance numbers, to my knowledge, as far
Okay,
as interest rates.
okay. But at the meetings, I mean, I don't know if you guys have attended your meetings, has it been discussed that there are other options for financing? Because if not, the voters of Coffee County are not going to understand that.
Right. I know at Lebo there wasn't any discussion
Okay.
of, there was
So-
little chatter about bond, but, at the Lebo meeting.
Okay,
The other location's been the same way.
Yes.
okay. So there was no discussion?
No discussion.
Okay. So I guess my concern is that if I voted for this, my thought as a voter would be you're going with bonds. So I think you need to let it be known that your Coffee County banks are interested. So, because it's just not our bank. It was the other ones too. So, I just didn't ask them all to be here today.
I wonder what the options are from the banks.
Well, we were gonna go ahead and bid it again, but like I said, we have not, since last year, been asked again to be in, in the game. So,
Right.
I haven't talked to the other bankers, but,
I'm just thinking that, we have a bond attorney handling this, so
does that bond attorney need to reach out and get options?
so that's where I'm headed with my conversation, yes.
Okay,
Because he's talking about different entities, if you will, wanting different interest rates for different, finance periods, or
Mhm.
lengths, I should say, whether it be 10 years, 15, whatever. So, I guess we just need to make him aware.
well, and I think you need to let your voters aware, because they may want the Justice Center, but they may think, I don't want this bond.
Mhm.
I think if they knew that there are other options for financing available, you may have a different outcome August 2nd, was my concern. So,
To me, Brenda, for the voters, it shouldn't make any difference. Yeah, it'd be great to support the local entities, local banks. I mean, that'd be fantastic if they could fund it. But,
Your banks can fund it.
I'm sorry?
The banks can fund it, this whole project.
She's saying they can fund the
Yeah,
project.
I understand.
So,
What's the projected interest rate for the local bank?
we projected one last year. We have not, quoted one.
And I know things are different now.
Right, and it is, yes. So we are working to get one, but I just wanted it to be known that you need to get that out. And if you don't go to the local banks, that's fine. I'm not saying do, but you need to let the voters know there's an option.
There was wasn't the bond deal a little bit towards the taxable and the non-taxable bond?
Mhm.
So if we went with the bank, there would be.
We can do
would
it
be-
tax exempt or non-tax.
Oh, you can? Oh, okay.
So-
Okay. I just didn't know if that was an option for
Well,
one
I
bank.
I don't think Joe has any particular entity already carved in stone.
Okay, okay.
So-
No, that's fine. I just wanted to
I
come
can't speak
for
for
you.
Joe, but I'm
Okay.
quite certain of that. I mean, we're waiting for the August 2nd election, and then the wheels will be in motion, so.
Can we get Joe on the phone?
I don't know if he's available. I can try to call him.
He should be available.
He should be available. Do we want to use my phone to do this?
Is this something that
But may I,
need to have Wade and
I don't think Wade would be real helpful, but I
involved, or someone involved to see if we can, you know, like Brenda said, it's all set there. Does that shut the door on the local banking? I don't know. Does it need to start off in an open session or go to executive session for 10 or 15 minutes to see exactly the direction we need to take a look, with Brenda bringing up?
Yeah, I would advise, that's what I was just advise, if you do call and ask that question, I would do it in executive
This is
session.
an executive session.
To me, that's probably the direction to go to kick this off.
Right, no, that's fine. So,
And the last thing I want to do is, you know, put it on the table. I mean, nothing like that, but
right,
maybe I ought to start an executive, but
that's fine.
I don't have the answer to my question.
Well, no, that's okay, and I don't either. That was my question, you know. So,
Well, I mean,
you have
it
options.
would be best to support the local banks. I mean,
Well, and-
it would be,
You know, whatever's best for the county,
Right,
you know.
right.
But I just wanted it to be known that there are other options, you know, at least one, you know, your local bank, so.
yeah, at least person needs to look at the interest rates. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
Well, and that's the way Joe was leaning, if I remember correctly, that we would be talking to he would be talking to several financing entities to get the best interest rates for us, so.
And I know with the
Yeah.
banks, if it's my understanding, it doesn't have to be voted on. The bond does. So, but my concern is seeing this in the paper that your voters may not realize that you have, you know, another option. So, that's all I had today. So,
Okay.
okay.
Well, let's visit with, Joe. And,
Okay.
see if maybe he can get in touch with you.
Okay.
Or, I guess you're the one in the lead of it?
Yes,
Is there a
and when
card?
I talked to the banks last year, they were okay with Central taking the lead because they didn't have the ability to do so. And the bank is willing to do that.
Okay.
So, but I will let them know, you know, the new pricing that we're proposing in that. But I wanted to make sure that we were still an option, so,
Okay.
but,
Okay.
so yeah.
We'll
If
reach out.
he wants to contact me, that would be great.
Okay. We can reach out with him in an executive session and see if he's available for one.
Second have time to.
We're gonna have plenty of time, so
Okay,
let us, do our research and
Okay.
we'll have him get in touch with you.
sounds great. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will, I already did it.
And that's the end of our agenda for the day.
Need a break?
What a rough day, what a rough morning, but, there's plenty of other things we're gonna be doing, so, if anybody has anything else, we'll go into our check signing and all sorts of stuff. Yes, we do have you have something that you want to,
Yeah, we'll probably have to go into executive session on that.
executive session.
I know Wade had one as well.
Wade had one.
I have to see, let me see if
Wade, yeah, Wade.
everything is, ready. I've
Okay.
written something.
Bye,
Thanks,
thank
Brenda.
you.
I don't know if Wade should be present for, I think Wade should probably be present for our executive session.
I think so.
Let me run
If
down
it's-
there.
If you would, please.
That's what I think it is.
Yes.
You just a spectator today, Tex?
That's it. Just a few things I wanted to kind of see the process on and everything else, so.
It's a short day, so not much
Yeah.
processing.
Right.
Not much being processed.
Yeah, you're not gonna type a lot.
I got it all figured out.
We need one more piece of information before we can go in, so I'm
Okay,
I'm not,
and we're checking to see if Wade is available too,
okay.
as well.
So, can we shoot Joe a text or something and see if he's, available to do so, get that money?
I can try if I can get this thing uploaded.
I think if, it's my thought, if we're talking finances with the bank, we do executive session, but if we're just quizzing Joe to see whether the banks are involved, that's gotta be in public. So, and that doesn't require or justify it in executive session.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure of that.
To me, it
because that's-
definitely ought to be public, Bob, but I'm not too sure it ought to be kicked off. So
but
make
if-
sure we got a complete understanding of what is available and what our options are, like Brenda said.
Well, I guess the question to ask Joe is, will the local banks have the opportunity? That's a yes or no question.
mhm. Can you shoot me that one more time? I cannot open it.
I think that's, the answer is yes, it's okay. If the answer is no, then we maybe need to be starting to figure something else
Right.
out.
Yeah.
Cause I'm not sure what he's, I don't know. It's his, that's why we hired him.
Right.
But
I've got his contact right here in your text message, Bobby, but it will not let me open it.
What kind of phone do you have?
iPhone.
I guess my question, what Brenda was saying is, are the banks willing to do it, and not even go to bond?
That's the way I understand it.
That's what she's.
I'm assuming that's what she's saying, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm taking.
That's what I took, well, that's a whole different ballgame now then.
But she made comments, you know, it's kind of a done deal towards the way the voting's set up. That part of it probably is a done deal.
So we wanna call him and see if, make sure local banks are going to be,
I mean, I guess if even the bond, if the locals buy all the bonds, that's, I don't know how that works for sure.
I'm
I haven't-
with him, I'm winning their bonds that, yeah, like you just said.
so we wanna call.
We probably need to talk to Joe. I don't know. Don't have an answer.
Here we go. We can always ask for forgiveness, right? He didn't answer my phone last week.
Your call.
No dice.
Maybe it's hard to answer from the Bahamas. I don't know where.
I shoot him a text message, see if he sends something back to me. Do you need one of these back to give away to review? So he doesn't have to go through 9 million emails?
He'll be done.
I can do that. Did you catch up on it?
Yeah, he'll be done.
Yeah. Just one.
I see the gas price at the North Filling Station, diesel price $6.16, or was it a malfunction?
I'd say that was probably a malfunction.
Open.
It caught my eye.
Probably should have had a 5 in place of a 6, but that's, don't know.
Is this the tires? Check on the backside. Angie, do you have the one to check that we're working on or have been working on?
We haven't done anything with
I haven't
it.
done anything. I just wanted to make
No, we
sure it
don't.
was not
Yeah.
in here. the new lawnmower get delivered?
It did, and that was actually one thing I was gonna, it was supposed to be like 3,100 and something. And that's the price that we don't qualify for, so it's 35.
3,500. I just seen the check.
Yeah.
3,500.
So he said that is his cost, so he wouldn't take a loss on it by giving us the 31 that he had originally said.
Well, I about bet you probably wouldn't find it cheaper anywhere else.
Right.
I agree with that.
I thought it was pretty reasonable.
I do
for a lawnmower.
too.
Even at 35.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. I would sell my 72-inch for 35 right now, I guarantee you that, and it's old.
This goes in this yellow one, I'm sure.
These checks go in that yellow.
Yeah.
Optical repair cost, device, patch. Tim, I'm not gonna make the parade tonight. I got a meeting at 6 o'clock. I'm gonna try to make Saturday,
Alright,
as long as you remind me.
I'll do that.
Send me a text message.
Alright. And I won't do it at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Please don't. If Tim's up, everybody else should be up.
I
That's
forget
right.
sometimes too how. It's late in the daytime.
Everybody should get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Why? That's where your day
Starts.
Mine's at 5.
I don't recommend it for nobody.
Or something he was gonna be right now.
Yeah. Back to that country western song. Waiting on Willie. Yes, at the library, 8:30.
8:30. Well, I guess we do have time.
We do have time.
Alright. Last year in front of the house, the Kansas house, there was a bill HP 2686. 283 pages. The name of the bill, it was in reference to water. Usage and sale of water. It didn't pass. The Kansas Farm Bureau will be having a meeting in Burlington here at the library, starting at 8:30 till 10:30. The bill would have set up a Department of Water if it would have passed. I did not read every page of that bill, trust me, at 283 pages, but the concerning part was metering wells and springs on private land.
Ponds? Is ponds included?
Well, is it a spring in the pond?
Mm.
There's a lot of questions.
I'm sure a lot of them are spring fed.
Yeah. So very concerning to me. And basically, from what I've been reading, I was told that the reason for the meeting to see which way the Kansas Farm Bureau kind of looked at this bill and get some farmers and landowners' ideas on the bill.
Doesn't seem like to me they want much advice because, or many opinion because they have it at 8:30 on a Thursday morning during farming season.
Yeah.
What date is it?
That is Thursday here at the Burlington Library, starting at 8:30.
I heard a little bit about this last year. I kind of got the impression Farm Bureau was supportive of it.
That's what concerns me.
And kind of goes on what Jesse just said.
When you're talking usage, and it scares me.
I tell you, I'm sick and tired of trying to derail
Oh, I
this
am too.
administration stuff that comes down the pipeline.
And if you remember WOTUS, WOTUS, from the last administration, we all know that we did not support it. And it has concerns that when you're talking about a Department of Water, which I think we all use daily, putting a person in charge of that underneath the governor, very concerning.
Isn't there already a state water board
I believe there is.
that regulates water?
Correct, but this bill would have changed that, Bob,
That's what I'm-
and would have put people on that board, a small board from out of the state.
Yeah.
Very concerning.
If it's a state issue, why should we have board members from out of state?
You bet.
Yeah.
Mark, was you aware of this meeting?
We had something in about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was a Farm Bureau article, I think.
Alright.
Tim, is that gonna include all the water wells in town?
You tell me.
There's a lot of people that have wells in their yard.
Exactly.
We have people who, water system is water well.
Yeah,
Country club.
I mean, we have a lot of citizens out in the county that's water system.
very
is water well.
concerning to me.
You want to meter the water off your land.
Yep. Now, I did not find it in there. Also, rainwater.
Yeah.
Your usage, you could use that for. Well, that would include your pond.
That's right. Runoff rainwater.
There's places in the county that's got a lot of springs.
No.
I'm ready when you're ready.
Okay. Back to my country music song I'm writing.
Wade
Waiting on.
available?
Wade.
I sent the writing over to Willie.
You sent it over to Willie?
Yeah, he got back to me yet.
Some of this was from the Kansas Natural Resource Coalition.
Okay.
Shocker.
Imagine that.
I've been on the phone a lot Friday.
Do you have the proper verbiage ready for that?
I'm working on it.
Okay, alright,
That's 14.
that's Thursday.
At 8:30 in the morning.
I can be there, I'm up at
Yeah,
5.
I mean, I said, how much rain? 8:30 in the morning, not in the evening, when
Yeah,
somebody might be
I
there.
may be taking a vacation day.
I think it'd really be important for each commission area to be there if we can be there.
I'm trying.
I'm planning on it.
I'm gonna try. It depends on how dispatch looks.
I'm not ready for unemployment.
Like I told you, they're not on fire yet. You know they wouldn't work.
Well, as of Saturday, you can't recall anybody on the board now. Because, well, they recall you two, but you can't recall any of us, because it's within 6 months of an election, and you can't recall within 6 months of an election.
Oh, yeah?
I got a commissioner from Lubec County called me just to remind me of that, so you let your mind, your buddies can't recall you or even do anything to you.
Relating to,
Cool.
Just so you know, that's just rules.
So we're not
That's the rules.
we're not gonna fire you, Bob.
That's the rules. That's the rules. You can't anyway.
Take you out behind the woodshed.
matter.
He has 7 people running for his position. He's not running again.
Really?
Mhm.
It'll be hard.
Okay,
Are we ready? How many minutes?
probably 20.
I got 20 on my timer. I figured it was gonna be 20.
Okay. That'd be personnel matters, non-elected personnel regarding county policy related to payroll matters.
Executive session for 20 minutes. The board's Angie, Wade Bowie, or county counselor, would be a counselor. And is there any others? Okay.
Not right now.
I'll make it.
Tim moved,
Second.
Tom seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We will go in at 9. Did it just turn? 40. And we'll go at 9:40 for 20 minutes.
Because they was looking for an attendance.
I didn't know if we could discuss it or not, or.
I think we can.
All right, no action taken for that executive session. Okay, I got a text message from Joe. We had a presentation from
Brenda Klubick.
Brenda Klubeck, Central Bank, about the local banks being able to bond the funding for the jail. So we was gonna ask Joe if local banks was going to be offered.
And that's a Joe question, I have no idea what that process looks like.
Okay, so I'm gonna call him,
Okay,
because he's available now,
okay,
to ask that question.
okay.
That needs to be a public meeting, right?
And I think, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't.
We're not talking any numbers, financial numbers.
We need to,
It's, probably need to wait for,
Angie to come back.
but I think it's a fair question, and I think, at some of the public forums, there have, if I recall, was it Waverly? Where someone asked about being able to purchase
Yes.
the bonds at the local level.
Yeah. And that would be an option.
Well, it probably would be if the local banks were involved.
Okay. But I think there's a reason why that isn't available. But
He explained it once, Joe did, and I cannot pull it up.
Yeah, I was searching.
Joe is available for a phone call, so we're waiting on you to come in so we
Okay.
can go ahead and make the call.
You wanna use
Okay.
this phone?
I can just use this. Is this loud enough?
If it's turned up, I think it would be.
Fine.
You wanna put that on today?
Good morning, Joe Serrano.
Morning, Joe, Jesse Knight, Coffee County Commissioner, you're live.
Chairman, how are ya?
Doing
Very good,
fine.
thanks, Joe.
We're just sitting here trying to solve the world's problems.
I know you're doing a good job at that, that's great.
Hey, we had a presentation from Central National Bank this morning, which is a local bank in the area, and their question was, or I guess they was kind of just notifying us that, local banks have the capacity to bond this jail. Our question to you is the local banks gonna have the option through you to fund this?
Because we have a public offering, which is required to drive down the interest rate, they have the opportunity to purchase the bonds, and they have the opportunity to sometimes they participate in a syndicate, which is where, there's a lead underwriter that buys the bonds, and there's several different financial institutions that participate. But because this is not a PBC or a revenue bond, we can't privately place it with a local bank. A lot of times what they will do, in a public offering, they'll come in as the lowest bidder because they know the county, the creditworthiness of the county, but we can't just say, hey, listen, we're going to place it with one of the local banks. If we did a public building commission revenue bond, then we could actually place it with one or more local institutions. But because this is a public offering, required by law, that we have an obligation to take it out to the public, and they could buy it. I mean, if they're the lowest bidder, we award, under law, you have to award on the lowest interest cost, or what is really called the true interest cost. The county is pretty much obligated to award based on the best interest rate that you receive. So I don't know if that answers your question. The long and short of it is they can participate. They could be if they are the lowest bidder, then absolutely they get the bonds.
Okay, but it wouldn't be going straight from you to them, it still has to go out to a public offering.
It does, it absolutely does.
Okay.
And, it's required because it's over $2 million, and the law provides that we have to put it out to bid.
Okay. So if I would send you a picture of this business card, you could call and speak with this individual. I'm not gonna guess, but, I think they've got the funding to do this, but I don't know if they understand the public offering. Does that make sense? I don't wanna assume anything, but I think that would, because I think they kinda thought, well, we wasn't offering it to the bank, so maybe the public would look at it better if it was locally bank-held bonds.
Yeah, a lot of times, and a lot of these types of the kind of unique financing, jail being one of them, airports, you don't have charter schools down there, but charter schools, a lot of times, if it's a straight up revenue bond, we would place it with the local bank. A lot of times there's like equipment leasing. We'll finance some kind of equipment or fleet financing, and we will place it with the local bank. But because we cannot, in this instance, do that, I'm happy to visit with them and suggest
by so much debt, they drive down that interest cost quite a bit. It's market driven. It's very market driven. It's, what is going on? What's the horizon? What do they project? A lot of times these are placed in, they end up putting them in like, pension plans, school fund, like school pension plans, and they have some certainty with respect to that. And that goes to the whole option when you can call those bonds or not call those bonds. But a lot of times the big boys are buying these and putting them in certain kinds of funds. But local banks can participate with the winning underwriter. It just depends, who the underwriter is, who actually bids the lowest, for the benefit of the county, of course.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for Joe? I think you answered her question, Joe.
All right, Commissioner. Hey, Jesse, I was out last week. You sent me a note on Vito Junction. I'll respond to that. I was out last week, and I'll call that gentleman today over at Stinson and get a follow-up for you.
Okay, yeah, if we can, this has been on the radar for quite a little while. If we could get that, I'd like to get that wrapped up here in the next 30 days. It's gone on a long time.
Yep.
So,
I'm with you. I'll do the best I can, and I'll give him a call today.
Okay, I'll shoot you a picture of this, business card so you can contact this individual.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Joe.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye. There, we got her answer. So, I will send that to him so he can contact her and explain the situation. Our book is done, Wade. We've signed some checks, vouchers.
Something wrong?
Yeah.
Lot wrong.
Yeah, it's not 101, it's 1011.
Is that clock right?
Yeah, so, I don't know if we wanna, you got anything for us today?
Angie handed me this, and what this is paperwork from the Kansas Attorney General's office with a check in reference to the opioid, agreement that was signed by Coffee County with the Kansas Attorney General's office. There's a check for $1,525.58, and I knew that was coming. I got an email from Chris Teeter, who's I think that's who it's from, the attorney with the AG's office who's handling the opioid litigation on behalf of the state of Kansas. They've received some, I guess, initial disbursements related to the opioid settlements. There should be more forthcoming, but that's the initial one. So Coffee County, along with other cities and municipalities across the state, are receiving similar checks. The only thing that needs to be done on this end is this money has to end up in an account that has a specific earmark that it can only be used for certain things. So in the paperwork that was sent from the AG's office, and I'll just read it. The memorandum of understanding requires each participating city and county in Kansas to hold any distribution from the municipality's Fight Addiction Fund in a segregated account to be used for approved purposes. Funds in this special reserve shall not be commingled with any other money or fund of the city or county. And then it talks about there's annual reporting requirements that are required for expenditure. So my suggestion is, and I don't think it's an issue, to create a fund, just a designation within the county budget fund list that says municipalities Fight Addiction Fund, and then any money, including what this check is, goes into that fund. And then we'll have to figure out what it will be used for later on down the road. Here locally, and it needs to be somehow used to help fight the addiction problem that we have here locally. And that's not only prescription drugs. Methamphetamine is rampant here right now. Heroin is showing up in the local area. We've got fentanyl issues that are coming through. I mean, Coffee County isn't immune from any of those things, and, you know, our jail is full right now. We've got 19 this morning, and we've got 9 farmed out to other counties right now. And I'm working on trying to get people out, but as soon as we get them out, they're coming right back in. It's
too hot outside.
Well, it's too hot, and, you know, it's just the nature of it.
Well,
For some reason, that fund that we used for those ladies in Emporia.
the alcohol tax,
Yeah, I mean, it can't go in that fund, can it?
It's gotta be a separate fund,
So we just
segregated account.
have to create one.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
The municipalities by the addiction fund, that way it's pretty easy to track, because if more checks come in, then you want that to go straight into that account.
Okay.
If we can't track it and don't have a mechanism where it was commingled with other funds, then we are potentially in violation of the memorandum of understanding, and Coffee County may have to return any funds that were provided to Coffee County.
No, don't want that.
very well. Do you have anything else for us?
Not today.
No executive sessions? Mark, check his temperature, please.
Temperature time.
Contrary to popular belief, I don't like executive sessions.
Well, Angie just left. Brad, you got anything for round table?
Well, I don't know, I just got in here.
Yep, I know.
Did she talk to you about advanced voting?
Nope.
No.
Looks like this is her notes for ask at 7-Eleven meeting.
Okay.
And maybe I don't know if she wants to ask all of you. Ever since I was here, until you moved back up here, we used this room for advanced voting, where we could bring people in that door, check them in, bring them over here and vote, and back out that door, and we could sanitize everything. Seems to be a little bubble up of COVID again. I don't know where that came from. I thought we were past it.
Elections are closed.
Yep.
Maybe. But I mean, people really are getting it, so I don't know what's happening.
It was all vaccinated.
But I think what she would be asking is if you have any objection to us on the Tuesday through Fridays, or our dream request would be to ask you to move back downstairs until after the August 2nd election, and then we'd move you back up here. Starting this Wednesday, we're gonna have in-person voting again. We've tried to kind of set it up where we could do it over here. Depends on what kind of volume we get. Secretary of State's office tells us to expect a record turnout for a primary, just with all the issues at the state level. And we have a little extra here locally, some contested races and the ballot questions, and I have no idea how to predict how that goes. But I think she could have explained that better to you as far as what her thinking is on being able to set up the room in here.
Do you know a number of people that normally in a general election, how many comes in and early votes? So a person could maybe get a gauge of how many individuals might come through?
Oh, I could run reports there. It's been hundreds. It's been a really big turnout, and people, when we had this room set up where they found out how easy it was, they don't have to wait in a line hardly ever, and they just come in, it's clean, safe, boom, and you're out the door. And I would expect we'll have, because we're getting calls already from people wanting to know when they can come. But
I haven't seen 3 days, it would be a conflict, and I think they could probably work something out on those 3 days.
Yeah, I think that was the suggestions was if when you're not in here, if we can just clear your stuff so it doesn't get tampered with or anything. And we just set up, well, most of you have been in here, I think, and seen that. And it really works efficiently to get people through. It takes care of that volume
a lot better than having them standing around out in the hall with the treasurer's crowd out there, and
On the Monday when our meetings are here,
we can
how
make,
difficult it is to move back in there for that
we
one.
can, no, it's not difficult, they're on wheels, but we can do it in there. If we get that kind of volume where we got them coming steadily, it's kind of a mess if you're in there and you got people backed up at the front counter for other businesses, you know, that's coming into the clerk's office.
So you couldn't stop advance voting for 3 days?
No.
You can't,
No,
you
we-
gotta have a spot.
We gotta have a spot, but we could make do if we need to in there.
Well, I mean, that would be the simplest thing, I think, instead of uprooting everything and, cause then you gotta set up, you gotta think of what you gotta set up downstairs, you gotta set your live feed up and all that jazz.
And we could talk about that. I'm not sure what her last thinking was on the thing, but I know those were the questions, and we can see how that works, and maybe looking toward November again, I'm guessing we're gonna have some of those things will be dealt with, but we'll have another big turnout.
Why couldn't you have the advance voting downstairs?
Well, for one thing, we need to be anchored to our election computer. And we only have 2 terminals that we can do that on, and we're not allowed to, the election commissioner in Sedgwick County a couple of years ago got sent packing because they were doing stuff remotely from home on there and you can't do that. But I mean, I can talk with her about that to see, but I think if we could get it through here, we kinda have people trained there for those 2 years, and it's not fair to you guys that that's how that went, but it worked like a dream. Because you got the elevator right there, in one door, out the other, and we were able to move a lot of people through there, and not have them waiting and coughing on each other and stuff.
And can I say one thing, because that would, if it didn't affect the Monday meetings, because Brad said it is possible, but that every time somebody uses a meeting room downstairs, he has to move his equipment out of there too, so
Yeah.
it's possible, but it is a lot of work for him.
Yeah.
Every time someone says, well, we've got this room reserved, can you get your video equipment out of here? So if that would solve that problem.
Well, before we moved downstairs, I mean, so they didn't used to do it this way.
Right.
I'm sure they could figure out for 3 days
I'm
how
sure.
to do it.
Would you have any
It's not a
objection,
problem.
generally speaking, to using the setup in here as we have when it's not interfering with your meetings? I mean, it's gonna interfere with your piles.
I can't see that creating any problem at all for us, Brad.
Okay, but it really is a good service for the voters of the county for them to be able to pop in here and get through. And I think it takes a load off of our polling places a little bit on election day. And also, when people call in, if they have quirky things about their registration, we encourage them to come in here ahead of time, and that way we can fix whatever it is and make sure that we get it right, as opposed to asking some once a year or twice a year poll worker out there to try to figure out what's happened. So that's
I think it's a general yes. I don't know if we need to make a motion to do it or not. I mean, it's just
I think the consensus,
a general
Probably
consensus.
handle that.
Okay.
Thumbs up.
And I can have Angie get with Andrea and make sure that we have the details smoothed out for that. We sure appreciate it, because it really works smooth in here.
Very well.
And we can encourage people not to come on Monday.
if they call in,
Yeah.
you could make a
Right.
that's what,
Yeah.
if they called in and asked if you open, you could suggest.
And I mean, they used to do it in here. I used to always vote in here because I'd come in early because I was afraid I was gonna be gone somewhere. And it worked all right, but we've had a lot more volume than we used to by a bunch. I think the other note that she had here says, please inform commissioners, this is a note from Terry Weldon, that there is a chance Senator Jerry Moran will be attending the Lions Club meeting July 13th at noon at Across the Border Restaurant, per Terry Weldon. So there you are, you're informed. I'm not sure why, but I'm assuming that you are welcome to visit the meeting if you would like to see Senator Moran on the 13th. That's 2 days from now, I guess, at noon and across the borders.
Or if he's buying lunch.
I would think not, probably. You don't know if the senators ever bought a lunch.
Just throwing it out there. I'm gonna jump back to Wade. Wade, we've received a promissory note loan agreement for Jade Seed from Bobby. He said he had sent it to you a couple weeks ago. We was wanting to know if you had had a chance to review that, because it hadn't been, relayed back to Bobby that you had or had not. And so it looks like it's pretty much the same as what we've used in the past, kind of a standardized
Yep.
deal. Are you,
I looked at it, I didn't see anything that stood out that caused me, any concern.
okay? We'll wanna bring Bobby back in to handle that. You wanna shoot a text message and let him know if he can address his promissory note? Yes, sir?
Oh, I had somebody waving.
Oh. Tim, do you have any roundtable goodies?
I think I already did mine.
Yep. Wade, I don't know if you heard anything about that, but Thursday at 8:30 at the library here in town, Farm Bureau is holding a, whatever it is.
Water resource, I guess you'd call it, meeting. We had a bill up last year. It did not get passed. But I don't think they're giving up regulating the usage of basically all water.
Your well water,
Your well water,
spring-fed pond
rainwater,
rainwater,
kind of
livestock.
concerning.
It's, yes. I don't know, if you're not busy, Thursday morning from 8:30 to 10.
What that could amount to is if you want to bring an industry in who's gonna use water, they could say, no,
They
you're not
could say
getting
no,
water.
that's exactly right.
Has a lot of zoning ties with it.
I'd like to attend, sounds interesting, but I'll be dispensing justice in the courtroom.
Okay.
Trying to get people
Never good.
out of jail.
Out of jail.
Or to
In
prison.
jail.
Dispensing, I like that.
Yeah, I need to be.
Tom likes it, yeah.
That's my job, is to dispense justice, not convictions. I'm gonna go back to this, I think probably need to have a paper trail with a motion to create this fund.
Okay.
The Municipalities Fight Addiction Fund, that specifically ties to any monies received in reference to the, Kansas Fights Addiction Act. So that way, if something happens later on down the road, there's an origin where this fund came from, and just all about paper trails.
Kansas Fights Addiction.
Yep. So, generally, that would be my request, that somebody make a motion to create that fund for that specific purpose.
We'll let Tom do it, you as,
I'll make a motion. Create a fund.
I'll second.
With this jail project, one of the things, as those of you who have attended, I mean, the fund balance sheet and what's in each one of those funds has become front and center, so people can see what the county has and what it's being used for, and this would be something that would be included in that list.
okay. Tom's moved, Tim seconded for a fund. Kansas Fights Addiction Act monies to be dispersed into said fund. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Tom moved, Tim second. You got that, Brad?
Yes, thank you.
Tom, you got any roundtable goodies? Have we made it to you yet?
No, I was just curious, anybody's contacted Andrea for the church deal?
For the demolition, sorry,
Yeah.
I was answering back.
You're right.
I have not heard from anybody else, and I have tried to recontact some people on your list who said they were interested in taking a look, but I haven't actually heard anything back.
So we have no contacts.
Nobody that's done anything definite. Just people who said they were interested and they would look into it, and nobody sent anything.
It's a little early.
What's the date?
22nd.
22nd. Is it
We're set up to,
lawful to call on reminders or leave it alone?
I know I'll have engineers call me and make sure I'm, or still aware.
Would it be more appropriate to have Andrea?
What if you call someone and you don't call someone else?
Yeah, that's what scares me.
so we're set to open those bids on the 25th, so.
Still a couple of weeks away, but.
Yeah.
A lot of people wait till the last minute to submit their stuff.
Yes, they do, especially now.
That's probably a bigger, knocking that down and figuring out how to do it. I think there's probably quite a bit that goes into that, but I don't know, I don't do it.
One real place piece of dynamite that really could be done.
Could we send a email reminder?
To who?
And that does kind of tie into one of my, the asbestos inspection. I haven't received the report back yet. He said it shouldn't be more than like 5 days to get the report together, and I should hear something. I haven't yet. But the Burlington Fire Station was actually a huge help in that, because there are a few places that the inspector could not get to in that building. And he said if he couldn't get to them, he would have to assume that there is asbestos. So Burlington Fire took their ladder truck out there and accessed some of the places in the building that they would not have otherwise gotten, that they said they needed. So they were a huge help in that.
So you haven't heard back from them either?
Nope.
Wait, yes.
Twiddle your thumbs, sit back and wait.
I saw last year's.
Bobby, you have anything good? No? No, well, I don't know, Chad. Dawn, you got anything?
I'm fine for the day, Jesse.
Thinking about everybody else, and I wasn't even thinking about mom. I don't think I have anything. I really truly don't. You got anything for roundtable?
A few things. And I know this might be a Wade question, as far as I talked to Christina with HR, and how far out are we with any policy updates? Because there's one that I need to see if it's gonna be addressed fairly quickly.
She's gonna be getting on the agenda sometime in the very near future. So she was here the last week in June, met with me, met with Angie, and she's cleaning up some of the policy, and then she's gonna send it for the board to review. So that's coming soon.
And when I had asked her about, even if it gets dealt with fairly quickly, how soon would these changes take effect? And I was like, is this gonna be an end of the year? Are we talking on January 1st? And she said, no, she's looking at an earlier date, because there is one, and I don't know if you want this discussed, but as far as random testing and how that works, and how it works for all county employees, that needs to be hopefully looked at in this quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to be live. I mean, you have the Nylander thing that ties to random testing too, which, I mean, Nylander always is a subject of debate, maybe, but Nylander is what Nylander is, and
Which means all elected can be exempt.
yes, so I will say, because as the county attorney,
at one point in time, the county attorney's office did not, they were not on the list. And I had to go back and figure out what happened, why, because I didn't do it. So the county attorney's office is on the list. If I'm gonna be pushing people to take random drug tests, then I'm gonna be subject to the same thing anybody else is. And I don't care if I'm an attorney or not. So if my name comes up, or anybody in the county attorney's office, they're gonna go take a random test. And that's just the way it is. But that's not how everybody feels. So we'll have to figure that out. I think Andrea will probably agree that you would have the same people end up showing up on the list and going and taking random tests.
The more you have, the more that lessens it.
Sure.
With the next quarter coming up, people do get frustrated because at this time right now, not every department of county employees is on this list.
I'm just gonna say for county safety, if anybody drives a county vehicle, they need to be on the drug screen. That's just what I say. Personally, that keeps Coffee County out of the radar. You got somebody that's dirty driving a county vehicle, the county is at fault.
So questions have come up related to random testing where it's had to be explored a little bit more in detail, and for that same reason, to cover the county should there be an issue. And that's, I mean, I'm not going to go into detail about it, but I mean, there have been those situations, and for that exact reason. So
we are a business. I mean, it's a county business, but I mean, we've got to protect our business. And protecting our business is protecting the county. That's our business. I mean, that's what we do.
It's risk mitigation at its core level.
There was one thing that was brought up to me. It was about this high deductible pay. I don't understand it, so I'm gonna ask for more information. Because I believe it was presented as, it was a check, a rebate check from the county to individuals that took the high deductible option. And I was told, or we was told, that it was like, went to a card for the individuals to pay for their higher deductibles. If they should and when they go to the doctor. And I guess I'd like to have more information on that. Is it to a check, or is it to a card with our insurance company, which would be able to use that amount of money to pay your higher deductibles? Does that make sense?
I think I know what you're talking about, but the way you just described it is
Can I give you an
The way you
example?
described it's not right. You're asking two questions.
Well, I am. Is it a check?
It goes to the bank, higher deductible, because if you're on a lower deductible, if you go to the local hospital, it's $20.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on a higher deductible, it could cost you up to your deductible. That was the reason that it was given for the people that's on the higher deductible program, was for that. And it's supposed to go to the bank, and then they put it on some kind of a card. But what I found out is that 6 months, if you haven't used it, then your card is null and void. So people that don't go to the doctor very often, they went to the doctor and all at once, whoa, they won't take that card. So what's the problem? It's the problem of the bank. I don't think the problem is us, it's the bank that's not letting people use it.
So if you go to the doctor, if you go for a doctor visit, you're gonna pay a copay. That's the $20.
The $20.
That's a copay.
That's what you will pay.
So if you go in for a procedure, that's when your deductible either gets kicked in you have to pay, you have to meet $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 deductible,
Right.
whatever it is. So, this amount of money, is it given to individuals as a check, and they do with it what they want? Or is it properly following the channels of going to a card or a account that auto takes out?
I think there's two different things. One track is you have money put into this HSA account, and with the HSA account, you're given a card to use. And the card you're talking about, because it happened to me, anytime I go for an approved doctor's visit that meets the criteria to use the HSA, I can use that card to pay whatever fees go with that. So I have an example right now where I'm getting ready to be turned over to collections because my card will not work and I don't have a card, and I've raised holy hell about it because I'm not happy. And that's issue one. And the only reason my card won't work is because I hadn't used it, because I don't
Go to the doctor.
go to the doctor, which I think would be a good thing. So that has to be figured out. And if not, I'm gonna have to pay it out of my own pocket when there's plenty of money sitting in my HSA.
And that's tax deferred, right?
The second part that you ask is if you're over a certain age, you cannot have an HSA. So that money goes directly to the employee.
So the other side is where, and this was a question that was asked, if you have if you have insurance outside the county, and then how the
Double
HSA
coverage.
applies, and I guess there have been instances where someone has been given a check, and that's the check you're talking about now.
Okay.
That part of it, I think, needs to be explored a little bit further, because I'm not sure.
Well, and that's what I had somebody ask me, is because they were questioning it, because it basically is like a bonus check to them that they received, so they were asking if it was gonna be done away with, because they have, their primary insurance is someplace else. This would be the double covered place. So because they don't need the insurance, they take the high deductible, they get an extra check. Is it this time of year? So they're thinking, it's almost like a second longevity check. They're getting a check handed to them to do whatever they want with, so they're thinking, is that gonna be done away with? So it is a check, it's not a card. When you're double covered, it's not on a card, it's, here's a check, because you took the high deductible and you can't have two health savings accounts. So,
I'm gonna ask for a 10-minute executive session with the board and Wade on some questions.
So that.
Is there a chance that I could get in that meeting and explain what this is? Because we've done it at the county for 6 or 7 years. We shouldn't be recreating the wheel every year with the same questions, because these things were answered 7 years ago when this whole thing started.
And there's two different checks you're talking about, because like I just said, if you are over a certain age, you cannot have an HSA. So those people are paid, and it goes into their pocket or wherever, so that when they go, they have to pay it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. The one that Andrea's talking about, I know nothing about it, really.
So I think what really needs to happen is somebody needs to come in an open session and talk about the difference between, if you're an individual employee, as an example, with the county, and you have an HSA, what that looks like and how that works and operates. If you have coverage somewhere else and you have an HSA, how does that work, and how does it, because this will continue, as you're talking about. If it was explained several years ago, here we are again, and it's gonna continue. So getting it out in the open, getting something in front of the board, whether it be in writing or orally, or if there's PowerPoints or someone draws pictures, that way the misinformation that occurs when people try to explain things, as we found out with the jail project, it quashes all of that. I can't answer all those questions. I know in theory what it's working like for me, for example, but if you have somebody who has insurance at Wolf Creek and then they have coverage here, what does that look like and how does that apply to an HSA? Somebody needs to come in and be able to explain it and do it in a way where it makes sense to everybody, so we're not doing this over and over again.
Right, no, I agree. I'm gonna hold your executive session for just one little bit. I wanna take care of Bobby, cause he's back up here, for the approval of the, and you're gonna want Wade in the executive session of the board, okay? Mr. Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Wade reviewed, said everything is fine on the loan agreement promissory note with Jade Seed, and Supply. I'll make a motion to approve the loan agreement for Jade Seed in the sum of $100,000, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I'll second the motion.
Jesse's moved, Don second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 1, 4-0, pass. Need me to sign now.
If you would.
That would be 401.
4-0, yeah, 401, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, well, I think.
Yeah.
4 has to be the first.
12, no, the 11th. Is that right? The 11th.
Yeah, 11.
11th.
Yeah.
Do you got the other copies?
I don't. Can I borrow your copy, Mr. Wade?
Yeah, the one I had, I'd marked on.
You had marked up, I think Bobby said he only needed 2 of them.
Yes, sir. One for our clerk and one for the borrower. Would you attest, sir? Wait, you're not Miss Angie, so I'm looking her up.
She'll be back shortly.
Yes, sir.
And Bobby, while you're here, since I'm up for roundtable, do you wanna discuss the Verizon?
I don't want to say the name.
Oh, sorry, Bobby, I apologize. Here, you might as well take these little guys too.
If you want, since you've got kind of the information on it, just while you're
Yeah,
doing it,
yeah.
okay.
Um,
Cause it was my turn for roundtable. but
Ampersand
you're-
Supply.
You're up if you wanna, go ahead.
Okay.
if you're fine with going into that.
Yeah, that's fine, it's something we need to discuss.
Okay.
I know we're waiting on a executive session with Tim, so, or for Tim. so
I'll be
we
very
can
quick
do
then.
it.
2 meetings ago, I came before the commissioners and brought up the problems I was personally having with the cell phone. I don't think I have to repeat them, but I'm willing to if you want to talk through them, but, did some research, found out that Verizon already has one corporate account with the county, that was established as an alternative to the Cell One service. US Cellular. But it is on a separate type of plan that non-emergency related employees of the county don't necessarily need to be part of. So I got it authorized to open a second account with Verizon with Miss Andrea as the administrator of that account, for specifically my phone. But if any other employees wish to also convert, they could do so with your permission. In this instance of mine, it would be $6 a month cheaper. There is no contractual obligation. There is no hardware cost. You can get a phone that costs money, but I don't need a phone that costs money. I mean, the free phones they give are...
All I need to do is make call and text, it doesn't need to be numbers.
Right. So, I'm not asking for any money, I'm not asking for any, upgrade in cost. I'm actually going down in cost. I just want to transfer service to this new plan. The approval from the commission.
I'd much rather be under one roof. It just seems to work so much easier instead of going through 14 different plans personally. I hope it stops. It's probably not gonna stop, but I hope it does.
I have actually talked with some of the other people on the current Verizon plan. They don't get nothing like what I'm getting on that cellular one, or
US Cellular?
Yeah.
It's just,
Do we need to make a motion to open a secondary account with Verizon? Probably.
and close the US.
And close, are we gonna close I mean,
I
there's no reason to have US Cellular if we're gonna be Verizon.
And there are only 6 phones on this US Cellular plan, only 2 of them being smartphones. The others
They're all
are just for.
county phones, right?
Yeah, I just.
I guess it's our call then, if they're all county phones, it's our call.
I make a motion to close the, Cell One,
US Cellular.
US Cellular account and switch over to Verizon for the 6 county cell phones that we have with US Cellular.
I'll second.
Jesse's moved, Tim seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you.
Simple enough. Tim's made a motion for a 15-minute, 10-minute?
10?
10's awful short, buddy.
All right, 15.
15-minute executive session, the board, county counselor,
What's the purpose? Non-elected.
discuss non-elected I'm looking.
That?
No, non-elected. County business?
County business?
No?
I don't know what we're, non-elected personnel gives me a better idea, but is it for employee performance?
Nope.
Is it
No.
for- Okay.
Policy. Policy.
Yeah. So, non-elected personnel for policy is not, I don't think those two jive
To
together.
discuss
It would be-
policy?
Well, policy is more of an attorney-client if it has something to do with county policy and interpretation of that policy. So, I don't.
Could be interpretation of that policy.
So legal advice related to interpretation of county policy, an issue regarding county policy?
Yes.
Okay, so that'd be attorney-client.
Attorney-client. Okay. For 15 minutes.
That'll work.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'll second.
Oh, second, sorry, Don second. Tim moved, Don seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll go in at 10:53 for 15 minutes.
Pretty ready to move. I think it's just talking about
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
We're down to the third part of that. They're starting to dig.
Yeah, they're changing.
That was not right.
I was just gonna see how long it took you guys to notice that it wasn't Brad
Oh,
anymore.
like that. No action. Oh, waiting on Bob. He had to.
Wait, the old country song like wait, now it's waiting on Bob.
No action on the last executive session. We, I think we've hit all the highlights today. I think we're gonna go into our budget book for a little while. This is where it gets really boring.
Well, there are a few that are in there, Wade's department heads.
We're not funding them this year.
That's why they're
we got
blank.
cut costs.
And there are a couple others that Wade, Brad, Jones and I, neither of us had a copy of, so unless Angie, unless you have access, you might run across a couple throughout the entire book that aren't in there.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any extras, and I don't know if Angie, I can ask Brad and see.
Well, if it's not in there, it's Brad didn't have it either, so there might be a couple along the way.
So, I guess we can, somehow you'll mark them when they come in and.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a list of the few that are in the book.
That aren't in the book yet.
That Angie said she would check to see if she had copies of them.
You don't have anything else for me?
We don't.
I've got.
Yeah, you got the Zoom meeting to get to.
I've got court.
Yep. Get people out of there.
Thank you, sir.
And I'll have my budget information to you this week. I meant to work on it last week, but I was out of state dealing with, I would have rather worked on the budget. I'll say that.
Understand.
You know where to find me?
Yes, sir.
I thought there were maybe even like 3 or 4 that come from Hayes.
What's that?
There are like about 3 or 4 that come from Hayes.
From Wade's?
Yeah.
Okay.
How come there's no longevity pay on the actual commission in 2021?
That's,
Is that because of the transfer over, that's just information you got?
yeah, that one I didn't change, that came in the format that was sent, so I didn't change that to what it would have been. I can look that up and see what it would have been.
What are you're looking at, commission?
Uh-huh.
But probably, yeah, for 2021 actual, there's just a lot.
There was nothing in it.
Oh,
but-
okay, yeah, now I got
But
it.
it probably was the reason because we had quite, yeah. Okay, probably the reason for it.
General wage.
Well, because it shows that you're deducting it, but it doesn't actually explain why. But I mean, I know the reason why, but it doesn't explain it, so.
Yeah, that one I didn't alter at all in the way that I received it on it, so I didn't do anything with the 2021 actual for that.
Starting out with a general wage increase, was just gonna check these off as we go through them.
Yep.
So we don't have to review them next time.
Yep. Contractual commission. JBS building, 3.
Yes, the yes billing should be all right.
Don't have anything big on that. Clerk,
Clerks looks all right.
not any big increases.
Probably the 3% in the personnel service, 3.5. So,
Sure is expensive, isn't it? It's expensive to run an election.
Yes, it is, that's why you don't want to have special
I
elections.
know, goodness gracious. Software is just crazy. Support. Not much you can do about that one, is there?
no.
No.
What, on the election?
Yeah.
No. Wonder what was under commodities last year that kicked it up. You remember, Bob?
She bought some new machines.
Well, I know that. Is that
That
what?
was a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah, that was two.
Or was that the software?
So I have software.
Wonder what kicked that up?
I think
last
it was a
year?
software
I
update.
think it was software.
Might have been.
Yes, it was.
I think there was a software update.
Mhm.
Yep. That's, yeah, because I think maybe they had to purchase the software and then every year it's a $10,000 subscription type deal now.
Well, it'd be the 10 in here.
Mm-hmm. I think
There was 50 for the purchase, and here's the 10.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They got you right where they want you.
Mhm.
Treasures, let's see, that work. Let's see, elections.
Everybody on treasurer?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Tie's the same, 10,000. That's what he requested.
Treasure good?
What's number 9?
Yeah,
Nothing for attorney.
nothing for the county attorney yet.
County counselor, 9. He doesn't have anything in 9. 10, register of deeds.
It looks all right.
Yeah, it doesn't look. Well, that's gonna be ways, no.
Mental wellness, no, it's health.
So,
There's no changes in that.
Probably see some changes in that this coming year because of the COVID crap. They didn't have an opportunity to do anything with that.
Route 12, District Court.
What do we think about it anyway?
No. Public Works, 13 through 41. 10-year capital.
You know, I wonder, are we on Public Works?
Yeah.
We're looking at this pickup for the shop. New, the shop pickup, I don't know where it goes, but it isn't necessary, it has to be a new truck all the time. We've got old trucks. The shop, they'll run around most of the times in the county, but well, no, because we have, service trucks that go when they need something. So it runs back and forth to the parts stores, pick up parts and stuff. Does that need to be a new truck?
No. Well, what had happened is somebody would get a new truck and then they'd give their truck to the shop, would be my guess.
Be the appropriate, but.
Be a handyman.
Hand down.
Hand down.
But in reality too, always buying all these new trucks all the time, very few of our trucks ever leave the county. And if it's in the county, it's usually within about 13 miles of the shop. If something goes wrong, somebody can go out and get it and fix it.
Grab a hook and drag it in.
That's exactly right. So they're having all these brand new trucks, pickups all the time. And we could eliminate about 3 of them anyway. And those could be handed down, in my opinion.
You wanna just, mark that as for discussion later, Bob?
I do, yeah.
I'd have no problem marking that for discussion later.
Well, that would be, an item could be taken up with the person in charge of that department when we get there.
Exactly.
You just mark that, discuss later.
County, workshop. 14.
On number 14, contractuals moved from 475 to 7. I wonder what that's got. Build into that.
Holy cow.
Well, if you look at the, actual expenditures for 2021, it was 649,000 on that first page. That was the actual expenditures, and I lowered the budget down quite a bit this year, and I think we're gonna go over, so I figured I probably better raise it back up.
So that's your call there, Angie,
Yeah.
based on history and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, because 640, I didn't catch that 649 and 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 475 this year,
Yeah, I lowered it
chances are it's probably
thinking,
too low.
yeah, it is too low. Because thinking maintenance and stuff was moved to its own department, but, it's gonna run us short there, so. Because there's still a lot of stuff, maybe even related to maintenance, that's connected to the building, that then would go in courthouse general, so.
Right.
So the total actual for 21, total it was to 841, so you're back up to where it was.
Yeah.
Would be great if Be great if we get by without that, but it's,
It's probably not gonna happen. Especially with all the increases of everything.
And that's the other thing I thought.
I mean, paper, envelopes.
Because there's a lot of that that comes out of courthouse, you
Yeah,
know, so I
exactly.
thought I better just leave it. I don't wanna run us short and,
Vehicle repairs, that's the extra vehicles out here, department vehicles, people.
well, just
take.
the edge
Fleet
and
vehicles.
the traverse.
So there's $30,000 worth of repairs, or that's what you're budgeting for?
Well, that's what I'm budgeting for, and I suppose that could be a little high, but
Because of the budget, we don't need to spend it.
Well, exactly,
But,
exactly.
I mean,
because, I mean, surely those two vehicles, there wouldn't be that much in repairs, but, you know.
Right.
I don't know what one's Ford.
Courthouse good, on the 15-1.
you know, the wellness, I have no problem with it, this capital outlay on wellness is up 15,000, you know what they're projecting on capital outlay to,
CPR training is what that 15,000 is,
okay,
because, it used to be a requirement, you had to take CPR, but now I think it is gonna be more, it's not mandatory, it's gonna be more optional and suggested, because the feeling on that was if you had CPR, it helped Don, if something happened to Don, you had it. And it's a new, we haven't done it for a couple of years, and I think everybody's pretty well behind. Jennifer has started teaching it, but they're looking at a new program now that can get more people through quicker and still be certified, so.
As long as the person's got people coming in for it, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good thing.
which one we're ready for?
Well, I'm still on wellness, but if we're good, then we'll move on to 16.
Well, the wellness at 2017, it says 6,000 to top. I guess just forgot the 2 zeros, so
General capital outlay, $8.25 million.
I guess it's missed 2 zeros.
Stamp these or do you want to sign?
Sorry, I was,
Crudely one is blank, so don't worry about it.
That wellness program has been a benefit to the county because it sure cut down on a lot of metal expenses.
medical.
Metal.
And maybe metal expenses too.
Medical expenses.
Very true, very true.
And Don, when you get to 17, do you want this included in the Coffee County Council on Aging for Leroy, since the other senior centers are in there?
I'm sorry,
I just want the Leroy added to the Council of Aging.
yeah. On general capital outlay, you know, $1.25 million, you know, actual in 21, 15,000, did we do some capital outlay that went into a different category, or we just didn't have any?
No,
Or we didn't have any capital outlay in 2021?
Yeah, we didn't have anything major.
That didn't have that.
And, you guys had been budgeting that as for extra.
Kind of a savings account.
Budget in case we need it.
Yeah. If something major comes along with the building, you've got.
It wouldn't take long to spend $1 million.
It'll be part of 18. All the senior centers are in 18. I hate to have your paperwork, Angie, but that'll go in with each thing.
Well, there's no change really, capital outlay.
You know, it's quite a bit over what it actually was in 21.
Well, yeah, it's a big jump from 21, but.
Yeah, but we've been, I think typically it's been the 1.2 in previous years.
Yeah, we're in numbers.
Yeah, we moved to
Oh, I'm
17,
sorry.
sorry. That's pretty much it for it. Everybody in agreement on 17? There's nothing really anything with it, just that.
Anybody missing copies? No, we're on 17 or 18?
I'm still on 17,
No,
I
I
guess.
don't think so.
We'll move to 18.
Did you have an extra copy?
Is anybody missing copies on 18? Because I got bunches of them in my book.
Well, those are the senior centers and aging stuff.
Right.
I got Leroy's.
I don't have
You
Leroy's.
didn't get Leroy's?
Leroy was one that you gave me that I just made copies of.
You didn't give it to her, you give it to
I
her.
didn't get a
I
copy.
didn't give you a copy, sorry.
That's one that I was given 3 weeks ago, carried it in my pickup and then got misplaced someplace.
I guess that actually should have gone 17. There was-
It should have been 17 or 18.
Yeah, I have the senior center going on my 17, did I put them in the wrong?
Council on Aging is 18.
Okay, yeah, sorry. No.
So are they only needing 25,000 for the council on aging, or?
That's all they ever got. And they're going, wasn't it?
I thought it was like 77,000.
70, well, I've got,
Or we're doing it separate?
we're doing it, we're giving them 25, well, we were gonna write a check directly to them now. Last year we made that decision.
Oh,
I
okay,
think
so
each
that's.
one of them
So-
gets their own check, is that
So,
correct?
that's what I said, I've got a whole bunch of this on Council on Aging, and I'm not sure that it's correct. Because we were gonna send that money directly to them. And
Okay, so maybe that's why Burlington's was 41 instead of the 91.5.
Right,
Because the 25
right.
is taken out of that, and then are we sending each of the
No.
other agencies their own money?
No,
No,
just the area agent, and I thought it was 50,000 that we were,
and they've got 25. I might have to call her.
and see, all the rest of them come out of, Burlington. Is a lot of fun.
The 9,000 for Leroy, that comes out of Burlington's money?
No, the, 41,000, or, is that 41,000?
Mhm.
That Coffee County Council on Aging, doesn't that cover all the senior centers?
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
Yes.
They're-
And then
they're way
50,000 to the area agency on aging makes
They
it,
only have 25 on theirs.
I know it says only 25, and I'm thinking
So
that
do I need to
50.
call her?
I would say maybe. Maybe. And I got 3 copies of that same thing in my book, for some reason.
I got 2 copies of the same thing in my book.
I got 3, so, because I have a whole bunch of those.
So it needed to
If
pull.
anybody's missing any. But I would say, let's check that one out, because I was thinking it was 50.
I will call
And it
her.
goes directly to, that part goes directly to them. Until we know, I guess.
You think the 41 is the total of all the, senior centers?
I'm adding it up right now, I think so.
Okay.
So that's the way we used to give it all to the area agency on aging, and then they would send it to, part of it to, East Central Kansas Aging.
Yeah, that's what it
It
is.
is.
Okay.
If you add the silver hair.
But we don't wanna add the
legislature-
41 in the in their budgets, and together we double up.
Yeah. So I guess we just write the 41 to Burlington and then. they
41 goes to
distribute it.
area agency on aging, whoever that is here.
Yeah,
And then,
The
I
rest.
think it's 50 for the other,
okay.
but you're gonna check on that
I
to make
will.
So we
sure.
need an update on that.
Okay.
Utilities, I still think kinda hanging where we're at right now is good.
I don't even have an 18. Mike, did it get flipped, did it? Technology was 17, 18, 19 was the senior center's aging deal. And then I go to 19 is
Utilities.
utilities, okay. There we go, yeah, I'm back on track.
We don't have 20? Or
No,
21?
I didn't have any, neither did Brad.
One is the CCRC, which is the Coffee County Resource Council.
Yeah, and I don't think they're budgeting anything this year.
Pardon?
I don't think they're budgeting anything this year, but I can double check on that.
21's a juvenile, and we don't have that from wage bill.
Sorry, I'm still back here
On that area aging,
yeah. You're saying that 41,000
Goes throughout the county,
each senior center,
Yeah.
the senior centers throughout.
and then,
And 50,000 goes to the area agency on aging. Meals on Wheels.
so it's 91,000 on
okay. Now it makes sense. Thank you. Thank you for backing up.
it. I was thinking the same thing, so I was like, okay, what's total? You were saying 50 and then
Yeah.
41 and
Okay.
whatever it was, so I was working total numbers.
So now we're on the airport.
Yeah, 5 years.
Yes,
Jesse, you on the airport, Jesse?
yes, I am. Of course, I'm always behind, so.
I guess pretty well discussed that.
It's, it's considerably more than what it has been, but we've discussed everything that's part of it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna put that 376, as a project on the capital improvement plan, is that right?
That was for the hangar concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already motioned that.
Okay, Andrea, you might wanna add that on that capital improvement plan. And then they'll need to do a motion to approve the updated capital improvement plan dated, whatever.
Yeah, the county portion was $543,376 for all that. Which was 270,000 more than, 273,000 more than what we thought it was gonna be, right? Yes. Everybody good at the airport? We talked about it. Technology, 23.
So did we, I know they said 25, but did we determine that it was 50 for their agency on aging then?
I haven't yet, I will get a hold of them, but I think you're right, because that would make it 91.5.
Okay.
But I wanna make sure, maybe I'd have her update her form or something. I got a sticky on it.
Okay.
Coffee County, Council of Arts.
What about technology? I'm okay with that.
Did I see technology?
One page.
No, you do have a couple of arts in your 23, it should be,
23 is technology.
it's a big.
It looks, to me, it looks right.
Well, maybe
Yeah,
wonder what 24 is. 24 is Council of Arts. My book's all jacked up.
My technology should be 23.
How about I just look at yours? How about
I was
that?
gonna say.
How about
well,
that? That way, you know my book's
Between the
messed up.
combination of them, we'll see.
Technology.
It looks,
That's Brad's side, right? Yeah.
looks
Yeah,
like
he's
it's.
got two separate ones, the technology.
Okay.
and- 'cause
I have no idea on technology, I guess.
Rate of increase went down.
My thinking is if you put it in here, we probably need it, and I don't know what technology is.
See, I got 2 arts.
Yearly updates we
Okay,
have.
probably, double up instead of
24,
getting-
24.
You want me to take some notes, I didn't get confused.
I'll read
The attached picture capital outlay.
See, it's that.
Do they have council on arts? I have 2 of them. You have
Looks like
They
the
must
coun-
have just been double
Looks
printed.
like the county supports 9,000, no, it's not.
That's what it was last year, this year.
Yeah.
Good with the council or the arts
It looks
council.
like it's probably all right.
Sheriff's office. 25. Nothing to do with that.
Personnel services up 10% over last year's budget.
Cost of inflation.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta keep them hired. Commodities are up 26%. Contractual's up 53. Are they happy with the sheriff's office?
I'm not happy, but I'm satisfied.
Are you satisfied with the sheriff's
I'm
office?
okay with it, I'm not happy with it.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. We just don't realize how much that actually costs.
Coffee County Transportation. This does reflect 10% increase.
Karen, did they come back and tell us what their board decided?
Oh, yeah, sure. Can we try to get a hold of her real quick just for this information?
Doesn't matter right now.
I'm forgetting what the question was now.
If they were gonna raise it.
Oh, gonna raise the rates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of the rates anyway. I mean, that doesn't, that's how it affects the budget. I'm guessing commodities might be fuel.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Fuel, oil, tires.
That fuel's gotta go someplace.
It's quite a few grand, so.
What was the
Yeah, fuel.
subscriptions and fees
Fuel
be?
at 30,000.
Subscriptions and fees under the transportation. Why the fluctuation so much?
Well, your fees, probably your tags, I don't know, turnpike fees.
Went from 61 to 2022 down to 500. And this year up to 7,000.
Well, that'd be under permits registration.
This year on much more, right?
Where are you seeing subscriptions?
Dues, fees, and
Dues, fees, and subscriptions.
Well, can I say something here? If you look at 2021, their total was 6,140,
Yeah.
and their 2022 budget was $500. She can't go over that for 2022, so she probably realized that. Maybe she made an error and she was taking it back up to 7, since she was at 6,140 in 2021. I'm guessing.
She kind of penalized herself, didn't she?
I think so.
Transportation good? 27 jail.
Personnel costs on sheriff's office and jail, both of them's up 10-11. I don't know whether I'm sure he's probably fully staffed now.
I would imagine. And he's probably had to raise.
That's, that's greater than the 3.5 or 4 that we talked about we needed to stay within. In the office, it's 10.10%.
Jail staff times 4. On the second page, it says if jail is approved, that 2025 goes up to $200,000. That's four more people, I'm guessing?
Yes.
And that would only be if it passes, right?
Yeah.
Of course, 25 is definitely, that's far enough out, that's a projection.
That's a big dart.
Yeah.
General consensus on the jail, good? Good as can be. Can't do nothing about it anyway, can we? Lake. Very minimal.
There's no change, basically no change.
But basically, they plan on buying a radio every year, basically. $1,500. I assume they're probably costing that nowadays, especially these new.
Oh, yeah.
These new ones.
More than
Probably more than that.
More than that, I think.
Lake, okay. Emergency management. That should come down.
If we're cutting an employee emergency,
It
why,
should
it
have come
should
down.
be going down, shouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I just said, it should've went down.
But you increased her salary as well as the other two substantially.
Oh. Personnel services, 244, 260.
Everything else is pretty close to the same.
Hopefully the EOC and dispatch area remodel doesn't pass through. Hopefully that's for the new jail, $10,000. Or will it still stay? It won't stay here. It won't stay in the courthouse, will it?
Emergency management.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it?
It could.
Why wouldn't it?
Or the EOC dispatch area remodel. EOC dispatch, would it, yeah, I guess emergency.
Yeah, they just remodeled that, supposedly not too long ago, a couple of years ago. But
I just didn't know if it'd be moved over to the sheriff's office.
No, it should stay right where
It'll
it's at.
stay in the courthouse?
Should stay there.
I don't remember the layout. I don't remember it.
I don't remember. I thought it was gonna be over at the new, if the jail passes, I thought it was gonna move over there.
Oh, I don't think so.
I thought it was gonna be in the basement,
Which one's that?
emergency management.
It's in the basement.
Of the new jail?
New jail.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It is.
It's in the jail.
That's what I thought.
It's in the southeast,
And we just built here.
it's in the southeast corner of the basement, way.
We'll be able to do a.
Monday, it was really pointed out at Monday at Monday last, or Burlington last Thursday, and Lebo the week before. It's in the southeast corner of the basement.
I thought it was gonna stay where it was.
I'm not sure what it was pointed out in Ridley and Leroy, I don't remember right now.
I mean, I would think because of your ties to the sheriff's office, I think it'd have to be in the same house.
Yeah. Tom made that real clear there.
So
about
where's
Burlington.
the dispatch gonna be?
I'd say it's gonna be in the sheriff's office.
It's in the southeast corner of that basement.
So where's the EOC gonna be?
To what?
The EOC and the dispatch is all gonna be the same.
I don't remember him saying the EOC. I don't remember him
Oh,
saying.
we were talking EOC.
Yeah, we was talking
Wait a minute,
EOC.
you just said it was gonna be in the basement.
Yeah. Okay, I was thinking.
I don't remember us ever talking about moving the EOC.
And I don't either. I didn't realize. you said that.
Dispatch, yes, but.
Well, yeah, dispatches. They'll go to the new system, but I just figured the
EOC hasn't been mentioned.
I just figured it'd go hand in hand.
I wonder, like, I can ask her maybe.
You've been involved in that stuff.
Well, if dispatch leaves, that'll be an empty room, the EOC can maybe knock out that wall and that can be there.
But wouldn't it be like hand in hand, your sheriff's office and EOC tied together?
But they do things on emails.
Yeah,
I mean, they do an email, they don't do talk voice, they don't do it over voice, so it doesn't have to be together.
I thought EOC was saying where it is.
Okay.
That's a question we could ask Tom. I don't think that's been brought up at the other 5 meetings.
I don't think it ever has.
I don't.
Local Emergency Planning Committee, $3,000, $2,000 EOC dispatch area remodel, $10,000. Why is that many?
Well, I don't know, it's, the command bus is, to me, I thought that should be probably underneath the sheriff, because dispatch is who uses it. Basically, it's not, LEPC is not really it's a group, but it's not a leader. LECP is people from throughout the whole county, through mayors, fire, all that stuff.
That all their own,
Their own, I mean, I
you would think that would be underneath the sheriff's
the
office.
command bus should be probably underneath the
Sheriff's
sheriff,
office.
is would be my thinking too.
And that, Amber, has both of these budgets, so that might have been the sheet that went with that, 'cause if not, it's added into that.
Because it does say command bus up top, command bus upgrade.
See, she's got 10,000 again for EOC dispatch area remodel.
Right, I think it's just because it was on the dispatch deal, or the emergency management, had the bus on there too.
Yeah.
Mhm. So I think it's just a duplicate, and she does
Yeah,
three
she
different
just-
budgets.
yeah. Yeah, it says command bus upgrade 10,000, 2023, 2024. EOC dispatch remodel, same.
But for next year, she's only asking 3,000 for LEPC, so.
Yeah, I would think that would be under the LEPC good.
Yeah.
Conservation district.
Christie hadn't been in this year, has she? They usually come in.
I know,
I don't know why they haven't been here.
I don't know.
I guess that looks good, huh?
You know, conservation,
Conservation.
it looks, it's more than it was a year ago, but then it's identical to what it was actual in 21, so.
A little higher.
It's identical to what 21 was, but it's higher than what the
21's 103,
Yeah.
252.
22, they projected, you know, to be down 21, so. Yeah, those are carryovers too, I'm misreading the line.
Yeah, those are carryovers.
Those are carryovers. So there is an increase of 27
The
total.
county support going up $3,000.
Yeah.
Which is down 41,000 from 21.
I mean, I guess, conservation district, where that, what's that at?
That's the SCS, I believe, isn't it, or SCS, isn't it?
Mhm.
So. It's
Lake
first building right east of Christmas.
ASDS office, basically, yeah.
Yeah, oh, ASCS, yeah.
I had an individual, he's a dirt person. He said, he said, I go up to Osage County, I go over to Lyon County, he said, if I do terrace work, Osage County, Lyon County, he said, it's double the amount from the ASCS that they pay. He said, Coffee County is the cheapest pay on pond or terrace work in 3 counties. The cheapest.
You'd think they'd be almost consistent.
You would think it would be close, but he said it is half off. If he's getting $30 a foot or something for building terraces up there, 15 here, or something like that. He said it's double.
Why would that be
In 3
set in
other
the
counties. You would think it would.
have been.
I think USDA would set that off.
There's no reason people don't build things if that's the actual case. I mean, there's really no reason for that big of a difference. That's just what I was told. I haven't seen it, but.
I don't know.
Conservation district good.
It's 3,000.
Yeah. RC and D, Lake Region.
RC and D looks all right.
Reserve. They have a, it's thousand what we gave last year.
We don't have anything.
I think it is, it's like, look up on the last report, but this is all they sent last year.
Same thing, 2,000 last year.
2,000.
Same line.
Lake solid waste, nothing in 33. Nothing. 33 is Lake Region, Lake Region Solid Waste Authority, nothing.
If Angie's got that, yeah, Brad and I didn't have that one.
34 is agriculture.
It's identical to what it has been.
15,000. $35 household hazardous waste.
There's a big increase in the 22 budget of 3,500 from commodities. Wonder what.
And they don't have the personnel, you have the personnel numbers there.
On which one?
35
Oh, that's household waste.
household waste. I wonder what they bought
Well,
that was
because I
3,500
suppose,
last.
I don't have
You don't have a 35?
it actually is.
mine. I try to hold it still.
Well, I got two of them, so here.
Is this a repeat, right?
I got two, yeah, that one, I think they're the same. Three pages, I give you.
There's 3 pages.
Three.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah, I'm good.
Household waste. I don't know where they're,
13%.
Who is that?
it's Todd.
That's right.
It's recycling, so that's what this is, that the recycling people or weed people do the help. The personnel probably is not.
It's on his other
It's
budget.
it's not essential, so.
Everybody good with that household?
Yeah.
Then we'll see the recycling. Now we'll see. There we go.
All the commodities is fuel again,
I was just going to say.
for the most part.
Well, there's commodities 24,000 on the second page.
Vehicle fuel, 0.
They didn't put that.
You just putting that program, sticking in commodities.
Obviously has to be.
What makes up reimbursements on recycling?
Stuff that they sell when they sell
Yeah.
the tractor, the
Why
load.
couldn't they drop it all the way down to 25?
Because probably, because prices gone way down. Some of that stuff they can't even give away.
Last time I heard cardboard was pretty expensive, but I hadn't heard anything for several months.
And they don't do rags or anything like that anymore, so there's nothing there.
Everybody agreeing on recycling?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair building appropriation.
It's the same thing as it's been.
37, 10 across the board. You know, we haven't heard anything about the fair building in quite some time. Is there anything gonna be done? I've been hit up by a couple of the fair board people, but
Nothing.
I said, bring something to us,
Same here.
so, and nothing showed up, so. I guess no news is good news. appraisers,
Wait till after the fair.
yeah.
You're on the fair board, aren't you?
Yeah.
Has anything been brought up?
I'm not aware, but I know everybody's been busy with the fair, so.
It's right around the corner, isn't it?
The year before you know it.
I have the appraisers page.
I noticed this month, when we signed the vouchers, the wages or salaries for that was 6 months, should be close to 50%, is only 41 or 42%, so personnel costs are still overstated. Which if they don't use it, they don't use it.
Same as last year.
Same as, well, they've lowered it some, they've adjusted it some, but.
That's from 21.
Yeah, I know.
With this year, 22, same as 23, same as 22.
Right now, they've used about 41% on 6 months vouchers, so.
The 23 is gonna go up because they got
I know Connie told us a year ago, they just, a little bit of a extra for, in case you needed it, so.
Appraiser good?
Yeah.
And for the maintenance, Angie and I talked about, like, if our salaries are not, we did not include, those are coming out of courthouse general, but do you want to see them come out of the maintenance budget to reflect what actually does come out of maintenance?
Well, maintenance is maintenance now. It's a different ballgame than what it was.
Well, last year, they wanted it to stay in the courthouse general budget, so I did not include it in this one, unless we're gonna see what.
I think you're probably, if you move it over to the maintenance side, I think you're gonna see another department head.
Okay.
So I need to go back and put something in courthouse general then. Cause I didn't put anything for salaries in courthouse general.
I don't know.
It has to be somewhere.
I mean, it's not a problem, I can.
She said she didn't include any salaries in there.
Right,
But she didn't include any in hers either.
in the courthouse general, I
Oh,
did,
yeah.
but I can put it in.
She didn't include those salaries that
Right.
were included anywhere.
I did last year, but I didn't this year. So I can fix that.
Whatever y'all want.
It's gonna go somewhere one
It's
way or
gotta go
another.
somewhere.
I'm okay with just fixing it.
Put it over to which? Leave it in courthouse
Well,
general or put it over in
I'm
the
okay
maintenance?
with everything maintenance comes out of courthouse general anyway, doesn't it? I mean,
Well, not everything, I mean, some things do, but then there's the maintenance, just the general, smaller things that would come out of maintenance, so.
okay.
They just put it in courthouse general.
Wages in courthouse general?
It
Okay,
worked.
I'll fix it.
Excuse me 1 second, I got to.
Now, the maintenance personnel service is only one person, right?
Well, and that's what the reason it was 2022 budgeted, because that was just 100,000, since it was kind of just created to put something there, since it didn't exist before, was to cover Barb and myself, if that was gonna be moved into the maintenance. So that was why 2022 was showing something there. And that's the total of the 1,800 in longevity is the total of Barb and myself.
But aren't we covering you back in, commission, under commission?
No, not as of last year.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah, the commission just had us five.
Right.
okay. That makes sense.
Done with maintenance?
Yeah, the janitorial looks like it's all right.
So, I make a dumb question. So if she's administrative assistant, how are we paying her out of maintenance? We either gotta change some titles, or we gotta change the way we pay.
And part of it was coming out of the other county, or.
Part of it comes from Wade,
And that's no longer as of last
and
year.
it's no
either.
longer either, so,
Yeah, it's kinda messed up.
yeah.
Do we put her back under commission?
That's
If you're paying her out of, maintenance, you basically are forming another department. Because it doesn't show that we're paying administrative assistant anything.
Right. I'd say it needs to be under the commission.
That's what I'm thinking.
Right now,
Administrative assistant needs to be under
Yes.
commission, you know, yeah.
That was the whole confusing thing that I was going at when we turned around and she was taking care of the maintenance stuff instead of Angie taking care of it. Cause now you're separating everything, and she's our administrative assistant, the commission's assistant, but she's over all this other stuff. So that was the whole part of my confusion. Which she does a hell of a lot of stuff.
So her salary actually needs to be under the commission's.
She's administrative
She's
assistant.
administrative,
Yes.
she's
Right now,
administrative
it's commission.
assistant, that's what she was hired as, administrative
Yeah.
assistant. And then she was just designated other stuff.
Designated other stuff. That's the way I read into it.
So entirely under, because he used to come out of, like, 5, 6, or a certain percentage of the salaries under the commission, and the other ones that came out of the
Of
county
Wade.
councilors, but it's
Yeah.
But you're not doing
You're
anything
not
for
doing
Wade
anything
anymore,
for
right?
Wade anymore.
not much mess, but if you invoice them, sign them up for a
Does
conference.
he still want part of you to come under his?
Well, that's what I don't know, because after last year, when we moved it all under the courthouse general, that was the last I'd heard of.
I thought he was still planning on using you occasionally.
Will and I do, but as far as where the salary came from, didn't come under his anymore, so, I mean, that's what, do you want it to go back to the way it
Making pay cash.
Really, I thought she was still under the commission and
She is.
the county attorney. That's where I thought her salary still came from.
But, I mean, it all depends on what percentage of work she does for Wade.
But I would
I don't
say
say-
she does 70 for Wade.
70%.
70/30. But maybe we need to talk to Wade about this. I'd say let's
What she
mark
market?
and we'll talk to Wade about it and see how we're.
Well, we're gonna have to, we're gonna
mark the maintenance.
Because then when we get that figured out, then we'll know what to do with ours.
and janitorial.
And janitorial is,
The same thing, but not.
basically,
I mean,
Yeah,
it's the
like
same
a
kind of pick and thing.
And both them that we talked to Wade.
Mark both of them, we talked to Wade about it. And yeah, the janitorial one come out of Wade, but I think it made it confusing, didn't we?
Yes, now. Housing Authority. 41.
They're the same, so.
Everything almost identical with that.
Speaking of the Housing Authority, I drove through Leroy the other day. And is this apartment supposed to be where Luther's old buildings used to be?
Part of it is.
Downtown area?
The south half of it's where the Luther building used to be, and the north half of it used to be a bank 100 years ago.
Right.
That's where the building that fell out in the highway.
But the concrete slab that's sitting there,
Yep.
it looks pretty small.
It is, but, 2-story, and each one of them's only 1,300 square feet.
Each floor is 1,300 square feet?
I think it's I could be wrong, but each one of them's only 1,300 square feet.
Okay.
They're building 2-story apartments?
Well, I could be wrong, could be a single.
It's a single-story structure.
Single-story structure,
Yeah.
but each one's only 1,300 square feet. It don't look big enough till you get out on it.
It's more like 1,200.
1,200 or something like
Each
that.
apartment's like 1,200 square feet.
And this thing was $500,000?
The contract came in at 540 or 570, I forget which number it was.
But it's, if you look at the drawings, it's, kind of representative of what downtown looks like now. It's got the bricks and,
They're trying to make the highway front and the east side, I think, to look like
Still the
Downtown
old-
building.
the old town.
Old-
Yeah.
old
But it is
downtown
single
building.
story, yeah.
Okay. I just,
The 12.5, 1,300 square feet's all built.
Okay, so that's,
Housing authority, all right?
yeah, good. Health. 42.
I know they've got an environmental health vehicle on here, they've had that on there for a long time. That's another one of them vehicles that never, I think it ever leaves the county. It's a little, and they're looking to do some change, so.
Take the vehicle on?
I know they would like to have a little bit different vehicle, a little bigger than what they have, so when they go out and do, school and stuff and, vaccines and stuff at the fire stations and stuff, they can put the stuff in the vehicle, because the way it is, that the little vehicle they have, so I don't know what he's looking at.
Maybe they need more of like a utility van.
They need more,
Like
they
a
need
utility
more
van.
like, emergency management, you know, has got two, Explorer, or two Expeditions.
Expeditions.
I would think one of those could be used. I mean, they ought to be able to use them whenever they need one, but I don't know why emergency management would need two of them. They've got a new one and an old one. But looks to me like there's times that when this county, the vehicles could be changed around to where they're needed instead of everybody buying a new one all the time.
A lot of
Has the
expensive.
health department got access to two of them, though?
Well, they should have, I mean, you know, where they've got.
So they got two of them here, so.
Well, no, they don't have two vehicles right now. They only have one.
They only have one, but
Well, no, they have two.
Where the budget-
Maryland's environmental
Pick it
health
up.
is Maryland's.
Where the budget is, they got two sitting there.
Environmental health is Maryland's, and the other one is their Edge, or whatever it is, go forward.
All Maryland's driving now is that little bitty,
Chevy
S10.
pickup.
It doesn't go much of anywhere or anything.
Slamming doors.
slamming doors, making noise, making a presence. I don't know.
Office furniture. So I don't know. But I would think anytime we have vehicles that some department needs them worse than another one, to transfer them or do something.
Do we sign off on health or questions?
I do know that when they do, vaccine drives and stuff, that they do use the county's pickup to haul the signs and stuff.
So we'll put a
So
question mark on it.
they're using two vehicles. Yeah. I don't, we
I would
could, we
think-
could do the question, you don't have to question it.
Great flag it for a little bit.
Yep, JT Mental Health. I'm gonna be in there, Crossroads.
Okay, and presented it, I guess we,
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
I don't have any problem with it.
Coffee County ambulance, we've already taken care of that.
Already approved that.
Historical Society.
Asking the same as last year, so. No, they're not.
No.
Contractual's up 18, contractual's up a little
I was
bit.
looking at public support down here, county support, take that, okay, read public support. Imagine HVAC services, water.
Heater HVAC, 17.5, they've got that every year. Roof, 9,000.
She came in and explained herself pretty well.
Pretty darn good,
Yeah, I
didn't
thought
she?
she did.
Yeah.
Good with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with it, yeah. She explained it pretty good, so, compared to a lot of people. So where are we at now? Anyway,
CFO training services. Very detailed. CFO.
Personnel's up 18,000.
Well, it takes a pretty special person, yeah. With that, as far as I'm concerned.
What'd you say, Bob, or Tom?
Oh, COF, people there, work there ought to be commended, I don't know. Have a lot of respect for them. I do, too.
I think we need to talk to it next year, they need to have your 2023 budget and their 2024, what it is, to help you guys along.
Yes. Just make their own form.
Yeah, go by our forms.
They can go by our form. I thought we sent out a message that everybody needed
We
to
probably
come by.
did.
I think she did. I think you had
Yeah,
about
I think we did.
Total revenue for them is $10 million.
Our portion is a very small portion.
It's very small. Very, very small. All good with that, 46?
I am.
Yep.
I am.
Economic development.
See, its proposed longevity is double what it is this year, so,
Moved Heidi over.
but Heidi shouldn't be that high.
I don't know.
You know, since she's been here about 10 years.
Bobby shouldn't even be getting longevity yet, and Heidi shouldn't be 1,800.
How many years she been with?
I don't know, but
Heidi
it,
probably be 12, Rhonda would be at the
12,
max.
yeah.
yeah, Rhonda's its max.
I'll bet you Rhonda and Heidi are at the max. I bet you
No,
Heidi
Heidi
is.
shouldn't be, but that would be Rhonda's 18 plus Heidi's
Rhonda's
12.
18,
Rhonda's 18.
Heidi's not 18 now,
Let's take 15 years.
No, Heidi hasn't been here that long.
I think it takes 15 years to get it.
Yeah, Heidi's,
Haven't adjusted.
I mean, that should be a given, you ought to know exactly what
Mhm.
that's gonna be.
Mhm. Question?
Promotional items. That's a little loose.
Yes.
Magazines and other ads dropped way down.
No, I don't think he believes in.
Promotional items went up. Local radio ads went down. Newspaper ads went up. Newspapers are an expensive place to advertise.
Mm-hmm.
Cell phone, I thought he was getting over that.
Probably before you got the okay to do that.
Right. What kind of new copier are we getting? Went up from 600 to 3,500? Did they get a new copier down there?
They did when they moved across the hall.
When they
got a
moved,
new
okay. And it's $3,500 a year for the
For the,
lease and rent of it?
that could be about right, you know.
Can we own one cheaper?
I know, it is a lot, 'cause we get the maintenance agreement on the one that Brad's office and mine share too, and it was a pretty decent lease agreement with that.
You'll never have to buy one if you lease one. Just exchange it out and roll on.
Which one's to your financial partners? Yeah.
Farm credit,
Farm credit.
that's what I call it, is that not right, Tim?
Frontier, yeah.
Financial,
Okay, what's rental lease track? We didn't do any last year.
I think we did. Was it that sign? On 935?
We didn't do anything, we didn't budget anything last year for it. But the year before, we budgeted the 21. This is on two-year term.
probably.
It seems
I
like
think
it
that's
is.
right. Yep, that's
We had
all,
to go
guy out of Waverly, or Melbourne,
what's his name? I
can't think of
call
it.
it up.
I think it's 3 or 4 year deal,
Must be on two-year term.
maybe 2 years. It wasn't very expensive.
Well, we have two of them, so
Uh,
it could be on 4 and every other year, I don't know.
Printing services.
Was Bobby here last year when we did the budget?
mhm.
Yes.
He was here,
Mhm.
and this, didn't remember what day he started.
Okay, what's miscellaneous? It went from 2 to 10.
don't buy very many stamps, $100 worth. Do we have a postage machine?
Yeah, we spend a lot on postage.
Do you charge each department?
No, but so they should just be using the machine, yeah, it comes off of what I submit as postage.
That's $4,000, that's 7,000 copies when you sent someplace.
What would they consider printing?
Printing services. Professional and technical services to 2,500 to 15,000. Would that be the other lawyer stuff? Professional services?
Professional services would be like an attorney or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Lake repairs, what's lake repairs?
They always had that in there for,
And they sponsor the fishing derby.
yeah.
Maybe they have
Well,
to.
you've got fishing tournaments and stuff up above that.
I don't remember why that's in there. There's a reason that's in there, cause it was in there last time we questioned it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what the answer.
30,000, this year's budget has it.
I don't remember what the answer is.
Challenge.
Up 169,000 some change.
Yeah, 160.
Well, you gotta take the county, putting in there for Heidi. Not to mention now he's got planning and zoning, so he's got,
Yeah, personnel cost is 69 of it, so
yeah,
the other net expense is up about 97, 98.
yeah.
A person could ask Bobby on a couple, three of those things. Don't make a difference. You know, infrastructures went from 0 to 50, and I don't know exactly what all he would have included into it.
I mean, miscellaneous, you're going from 2 to 10,000. I mean, that's,
If you're gonna do things, you're gonna.
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna track people, you're gonna have
You're gonna do
to.
more.
We're gonna be aggressive, and he's doing what we ask him to do. It's kinda hard maybe to isolate those one-line items to a specific deal too, so.
Yeah. Go with it?
I'm okay.
I think.
A lot of it's capital outlay and special expenditures.
And I know he did say the stuff that, you know, the buildings that he bought, or had built, it was gonna be a one-time deal, and then hopefully could gain a little bit off rental, from time to time, so. If y'all happy, checking, you check.
I'm
for it?
okay.
You know, he's being to me, he's being very proactive on some of the things he's trying to accomplish, and whether these numbers are exact or not, we got to support most of his actions, so.
Coffee County Hospital.
And we've already signed
We've
off on
already
it.
signed off on it. Did we ever? But on this, it's still says county note 1445. Did we not ever get a new sheet because we did not forgive that note, the loan?
I'm sorry?
I don't have. Hospital.
What's your question?
The 1.4 million they still owe the county on that loan. Is that still
That's still there.
still there?
It's still
Right. I just
there.
wanted to make sure because they come in asking for it to be forgiven.
That it was not forgiven,
Okay. And then,
as I recall. I'm
and this
sure.
reflects.
You know, they're only asking the same as last
Yeah,
year.
we agreed to county support, but we did not agree to forgive.
Here we are on the library. And I think she come back in, did she not? Yeah, she come back
Yep,
in and
did a good
explained.
job.
And Bob was in contact with some people.
Mhm.
Is that right, Bob?
Mhm.
And she's within her guidelines anyway.
She's in the guidelines, same thing on her, employee benefits.
One thing I had a question on that, over the 2-year period, well, salaries going up 25%, but
That's happening everywhere.
Yeah,
Sorry?
it is
That's happening everywhere.
happening everywhere, and from what it was getting
And I think
paid
it
till
was-
now,
You're good, you gotta have a big jump somewhere.
you're gonna have to,
It's reflected on that first page.
yeah.
Yeah. Library board, employee benefit, check mark, both those, soil conservation, 51.
Christie hadn't been in with that, she usually comes in and presents that pretty good.
County cost share stuff. We're good with the conservation.
Yeah, pretty much the same on county support, a little bit, but
52, road and bridge. Reject. Come back.
You pay $41,000 in longevity pay.
That's the county, road and bridge. You can't tell me it's a bad place to work.
No, I still say with the salaries that we pay, the longevity needs to be changed. We don't start longevity at 3 years.
Yeah, you move it up.
Let's move it up somewhere. And then we've extended out our, we're paying people more. Yeah, it just ain't a bad place to work.
Apparently not. Well, 23 is coming now.
Is it, Casey?
What?
Is it? It's not a bad place to work, is it?
I like it here.
well, you ain't gonna have one, no.
That's way short of what,
70?
118,000 a year.
I'm sure it's gonna be more than that.
Oh, I'm sure it probably will, but it sure won't be that, it won't be the 185 when you add benefits and everything to it. And what made the insurance go up 20,000 again? Because we took a bunch of vehicles off. It's probably why it went down, but
Well, the training was at 14,000, 4,000, 6,000, now it's up to 18,000. Travel for 2020 is $48, it didn't go nowhere.
yeah, but look at the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Fuel's projected up 150,000.
That's probably a realistic number. And it's a shot in the dark for 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Tires.
Must be preparing to buy some computers.
That's the only question I have on it is the insurance. What created $20,000 insurance?
I don't know.
Because we took a bunch of equipment off.
Well, your, work comp went up because,
Well, is that, okay, okay, I'm talking a different insurance maybe they've got them all combined.
Oh, I'm sure it is all combined.
Okay, okay.
The work comp insurance shouldn't have any effect, I mean, that should be, is it singled out per department? Work comp risk?
I have no idea.
actually, when they come in and do their insurance audit with us, if you will, yeah, they do, because they say road and bridge is, one of the higher risks as well as the sheriff's department.
So they piggyback those, they can.
I don't know what it's isolated out.
But I mean, is it,
Well,
are we
I'm
isolating
assuming
it per budget though?
I mean, I don't know why he'd have insurance in there if he's not.
Angie'd be able to answer that question probably.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know whether it's isolated out or not.
Well, I know insurance does.
Well, I can see, I can see him go, oh yeah, your road and
So
bridge is
I
gonna be
just
more
maybe
risk.
assumed he's covering his own, because they're, I'd say, higher exposure, if you will.
Mhm.
So maybe he budgets, paying his share, I don't,
That is interesting.
first time we've asked that question. So that would be a question. You still got time, we can ask that question.
Yeah, I would say, let's
What question?
try to find our answer, let's just ask that question.
Special bridge?
They still use their radios.
Not from the looks of all the cell phone bills.
No, that's right.
Yeah, they don't much use radios anymore, do they?
You know, under special bridge, the budget for last year, or this year's 1.5 under capital outlay, what does that include? To jump up that much?
Was it that money for the bridge, the cost share bridge up there on 50 Highway? Or was it the one over here, southwest Coffee County?
In 21 it's
We're
zero.
doing two down there.
You're doing two down there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's two of them, they're right next to each other. In 23, the budget's 23,000. I don't remember what that 1.5 is for.
Well, the one up on 50 Highway east of 75 would be in this.
That would be in that 1.5.
That would be in that 1.5, so there's probably 3 or 4 bridges, but that doesn't seem like very much money for a cost share. But I bet you those other 2 bridges in the county they're not on state roads.
No, there,
So there wouldn't be any cost share on that. It'd be
well,
50 Highway.
there could be, but not necessarily.
Of course, this 1.5 is a projection. We don't know what that actual is gonna be for 22 yet.
Maybe it'll explain here. KDOT match funds, 2273, 2373.
That's probably that one bridge.
See, they're not showing anything. No. Yeah.
More questions?
For the 23 budget, I don't have any questions at all on it, because it's back down what it was actually in 21.
On a special bridge, yeah.
Yeah.
Find it interesting, the 23 budget for engineering, 60,000, 22 to 45,000 when we had an engineer.
Too much engineering. They only do so much, Bob. 54. Extension council.
I still think for your advantage next year, you need to send out another notice to people to use our forms.
Don't approve it.
Until they move it. I know, they may have their own form, they wanna stick their own form in, but use our forms for us.
I think we made it very clear in the
I
email.
thought we did.
If you don't use our form, we're not approving it.
K-State went extension when we approved them.
I asked Angie about, the work comp, and she said, no, it is not figured individually. She budgets for work comp and employee benefits.
That's why I don't know where the insurance comes from on road and bridge.
Yeah.
No?
So it's all,
Dental, that'd be in-house.
Yeah.
so it sounds like it's all in now.
Well, it's there, but it's not our form. It's there, but it's not our form.
What's where?
Oh, I didn't know if I missed one. So what number is it on?
Oh, we're on, K-State extension. If they don't have a form. The information's here, but
They have good information, but, I mean, I'm not, it just,
The numbers are probably correct, but it just didn't on.
it just needs,
it needs to be unified.
just needs,
Needs to be the same
everything
spot.
needs to be uniform for you, if it makes it better, but I guess we're looking at the exception now today. We're asking for
about snow removal, yard mowing.
10,000 for phones.
Well, see on the expenditures on the back page, it's 2,500.
Yeah.
Oh, that's, okay, that's rent, I'm sorry, that's rent. I was the wrong
I
one.
don't think there'd be anything wrong with asking them to put it on our form, be easier to understand and follow.
What are they, what, I mean, what? Indirect contributions,
Rent,
KSU.
heat and lights and telephone's 1,250, but what other, I mean, yeah, what other expenses are they asking for that takes it up to 12.98%?
Unappropriated funds, $12,000. They only get $36,000 worth of support from K-State. That's all the money they get.
Yeah, we pay for everything. They don't pay for it. Yeah,
That's all the
we pay all their
K-State can
salaries,
afford.
basically all their salaries, and everything comes from us.
This says 87, that first page, total case, state university support 87.
Well, yeah, I agree with you there, but on
No,
the
it's
second
Back
page,
it says 36,000.
second page, second line down is $36,000.
Yeah, they don't get, mhm.
Yeah, that one.
Have we yet seen what Coffee County support is?
What's wrong, they ask them to put it on our, they put it on our form, we can be able to follow everything.
Are they
If
asking
you
for
look at the,
55,
if you look at the
right?
asterisks up here, and then go down and read what they are. K-State's only 35%.
Yeah.
But are they asking 55,992 from the county?
I think they're asking for the county, I think they're asking 215,800.
Where do you find that at?
That's third page.
Yeah.
First page.
215.8 is what I come up with too. But down there it says Kansas State contributes 35%, state of Kansas 34%, federal government 9%, 22% grants.
Yeah, if you figure that.
So I assume that's where that comes up with that 87,000 is 35% K-State, state of Kansas, federal, and the grant. What that does.
In the budget a year ago, or 2021 budget, county support was 185.5.
When we add all those up, that's 99%.
Yeah, I'm not following that.
Kansas State report was 31.5, and reimbursement was 17, and carryover was 65. For the 21 budget, we're funding 185. And the actual back in 19 was 180. They put it on our form a year ago, and that's what it needs to be on.
Right, I think it should be.
A year ago it was on our form where it's very easy to follow.
And we even sent out a message making sure everybody knew to put it on our form.
And then they had a color spreadsheet.
Yep.
The only thing they haven't done, they haven't put the cover page hasn't been on our form, which is easy to follow, put together.
This wasn't even signed by anybody local.
No, it isn't signed by local.
215.8.
Put a question?
Well,
I think it needs to be,
I'm thinking it's 250.8, but I'm not sure.
That's what it says on the
I think we
last
just,
page.
I think we need some more information.
County appropriation, $215,800.
See, that's been increased to 30,000 over last
You
year.
really had to buy that sign.
Because a year ago it was 185.
Yep. Check.
Question. Noxious weed, 55. This is gonna be interesting to see what these prices of chemicals do. $387,166 commodities.
Which is what it was last year.
You know, commodities at 387, reimbursements at 150. Because those are the chemicals that
Yeah.
our farmers are probably paying 80% part of it.
Right, yeah.
So you get a net difference of 237.
He's not asking for anything more.
Nope.
Because he raised the price at the farmer, he raised the price on that.
That one good? Employee benefits, 56.
I think that's the one that we probably over budget for because of some of the unknowns.
Yeah, unknowns.
Some of the unknowns. And the unknowns, there's probably absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Well, that makes a savings account, makes a good account for
Yeah.
rainy day, catastrophic, fire district, you're in. Got us a little, static electricity. I don't have any hair, so my hair won't stay in. There's really not anything you can do about this one. We could replace administrative vehicle. There's something that could maybe go over, it's probably a pretty good size. Is it a pickup or is it a Suburban?
Suburban.
I wonder if that'd be something that could go over to the health department.
It's a big Suburban, that's for sure, well labeled, you have to probably sandblast it and repaint it.
It's probably got a wrap on it. I bet it's not paint, I bet it's a wrap.
It's just
It
red
could-
with wrap.
Did something move over to the health department and you give them bigger, or you think maybe a van would be more adequate for the health department?
The Suburban, the fire department got it's a big Suburban.
I don't know.
Be something to
It'd probably be bigger than what the health department would need, but yet it might be, at a discount, it might be worth it too.
I mean, they're not gonna, don't get nothing for a trade-in, so.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Not a huge jump from last year.
I'm actually kind of surprised with the price of everything. Your fire apparatus, the estimated cost.
When it last year that we bought all those radios.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to figure out why there's radios in here.
And I know he budgeted for them, but at the time, he didn't know that we were gonna buy them. But he still budgeted the same amount for 23.
If you pulled that back out,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. And he may not know, he didn't request them he didn't request all of them to be done, so.
I bet
And we
this-
just paid for the ones that was requested, so he's probably okay on that.
That 22.7 is probably only 22 radios. I don't remember the individual cost.
boy, you're gonna be $2,000 a piece,
That might be 10 radios, yeah.
So I think that's why, he didn't request them all, because he said, well, if I'd known you guys were gonna do it, I would've requested all of them. So, yeah, that explains it.
I feel what Randall said for sure.
Yeah, that explains that. Same way Jared said at the hospital, if I'd known the county was gonna pay for them, I would've requested more. We didn't wanna put that information out.
Yeah, inside, hindsight's 20/20.
Right.
Probably nothing wrong with it, their budget request is up 100, but with the atmosphere they're put in, you never know when
Yeah.
they might need extra funds.
So once again, here we are on the insurance, work comp, employees insurance, insurance bonds. That alone's $85,000. Isn't it not all in-house?
I don't think the fire department.
Fire department's definitely
I think
not.
they are separate.
They're separate, okay.
We need to ask that question, I guess, but.
Yeah, they are separate.
They are separate.
They are separate.
Okay.
They have their own insurance.
$12,000 for telephone. Total for phones, cell phones, telephone, 15,300.
The new radios and cell phones, both.
I can't answer your question, Bob.
Do we duplicate a lot of things? Just because it makes it easier? $1,600 on beverages, and what kind of beverages?
We don't need to ask that question.
No, we don't wanna know, we don't wanna know that.
Gatorade, lots of Gatorade.
But that was always my job, cause I hate
Food, operation, food.
But I didn't do it because I like pollution and Monday, wrong colors. You like it?
Well, the only thing about it is, I don't wanna say I'm cutting your budget, and I don't want you to come put my fire out of my house.
Fire.
That's kinda my take on that one.
Yep. They're gonna cut that gasoline out of it, or show up without water, that way they save on fuel. Save fuel getting there.
Once you get there, Andrew.
There's a water
With my
meter.
Gatorade.
Bring it, Gatorade.
58 tourism.
Again,
It should come in and visit.
It's budgeted, but it's pretty well whatever the gas tax bring in is what it is.
Solid waste. That's a little bit.
For the contractual from 21 to 23, you know, is up 35, I don't know what would be under that.
Well, is that,
And then commodities is up, 29.
I don't know whether Wayne, the contractual, some of that might be the engineering, cause they were hiring Blackstone where Wayne was.
he's got engineering line item in there.
We got the engineering.
Mhm, 25,000.
I haven't got back there yet. Okay. But that's 25,000 that we did not have before, so.
Yeah. Fuel and oil's up 10, so that takes care of 35 of it right quick.
Takes care of most of it.
Mhm.
Very much.
Agreed.
Salaries is 6, so they're your 41, that's been 2,000 and change.
Miscellaneous budget request, this is where mine's at, right? Miscellaneous budget request, SOS,
I'm okay with that.
7,000, is that what you're asking for?
Yep. Same as it's been.
That's what the other pages are from.
At the end of it?
Yes.
That's the end.
Then we used to have all these others, or are they just extra?
They were just extras.
Extra tabs? Had to put them somewhere, right?
I never know, you might
We
be up for
got
something.
10, we got 10 we need clarification on, or we need a quick report.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to 6 we need clarification on.
6, 7, 8.
Well, there's some of them we don't
Well,
even have.
Well,
yet.
we don't have.
I included
No.
the attorney, we got 10 total.
Oh,
The new aspects.
and then if we deal with that one, then we'll clarify a couple others. That's not bad. I've seen them sit here for 4 or 5 hours and go through this thing. Didn't absolutely nothing done. Still had, when we got done, we still had, 57 more almost, yeah. But we've increased that over the years. You know, when we got done, we approved the, hospital and the library and
Mr. Wayne's checking. Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna send 21 budget, so,
the,
yeah.
Rick, when is?
Be a good idea.
Well, we're just doing maybe the 20th?
We'll have it on.
We'll do the same.
I'm having a call over there, so I know, nobody doesn't know. If they wanted to say something in front of the video, or if they were doing it
Exactly.
I think that's when.
Andrea probably wants to use the binders.
Do we need to somewhat clear off
Well, I was
for
gonna
the
say-
report, before the voting take place
Yeah, I'll take everybody's.
Wednesday?
I'll come and get everybody's books out again, so I can do them somewhere else outside.
Andrew, we went through and down by the recycling, see them,
Okay, you get them,
recycle in and pull the paper and then.
get it all out.
Put that in recycle too.
All of my stuff over there, I don't have anything.
I think there's one in the cabinet up there for space somewhere up there.
I don't even know whose stuff this is. Is this my stuff over the corner?
I think it's all extra, yeah, they got brought up there, just a combination.
Coffee County Independent, oh, this is the Gilmore.
Most of that stuff there is mine, that I bought from downstairs. I need to go through this. I think both stacks there are mine, or 90% of it is.
I don't know that I've got a stack, it's a very small stack.
There's
the stuff in the drawer.
Throw some of it away, but I throw it away, I'll need it.
It was brought up that, do we wanna do something for Wayne's retirement? They're having maybe something on the 28th, maybe a cake or something sent to the,
Over at the shop.
over to Road and Bridge Shop when they have their little deal.
So you getting an oral, flag.
Yes.
Are the
they-
employees out there?
They came in today,
Is there a fire?
yes.
Alright.
Okay.
Are the employees doing something out there for the road and bridge themselves?
Yeah, I'm guessing so.
I don't know what the normal procedure is when
I don't know either.
somebody's been there 12 years, 13 years and steps down. I mean, normally,
I've only been here 6 months, so I don't know.
Occasion.
Perhaps I'm the wrong person.
Commission usually just gives them plaque, that's commission's
Plaque.
responsibility.
Call it wonderful.
Yep. And that came today, so I think it's in Angie's office.
The cake came today?
The plaque.
Oh.
I wish the cake came today.
Yeah, me.
It would no longer be in Angie's office, it would be at my desk.
That's stuff's bad.
So,
I
can you
guess-
still get plaques at trophies and things?
I don't know who
I don't know
we
how.
order them through.
We used to get a lot of plaques there at trophy and things, but I know they're slowing down some.
Yeah, there's some person here in town, I think,
They're still doing it.
Terry normally would order them through.
Yeah, they still do it, I think.
Did that answer your question?
Like-
I think the cake, or the flag, or, I guess. we'll know-
more?
We'll know next week.
Yeah, the office will do everything else basically.
Down there.
Usually that,
Oh, I just wanted to update a couple quick things, that's very super quick.
Okay.
The generator test that Creighton and Brad are gonna get together and do and update, make sure everything's good with the city, they're planning on for September for that. And then I'm still trying to get ahold of the elevator company to see where we are in their schedule, they were gonna order the parts for the phone system. And she finally got back with me this morning and said that she would double check on the parts that they've ordered to make those components. Hasn't been forgotten about, it's just waiting.
Is there any news on EMP's, equipment?
Oh, actually, that's what I was gonna ask too, because Modern Air is waiting to see how long it's gonna be before they can install the upgrades to the sending the.
The EMP equipment install?
We can, I did request a schedule of where they're installing it and when.
Okay.
So I'll provide that to the commissioners and
Okay.
you obviously could say, hey, bump us up to coordinate
Well, if
with
there's
them.
somebody waiting on something, we probably ought to try to put out the fires, so to speak, as quick as we can. But, yeah, I don't wanna, not that any one of them's more important than the other, because they're all important, but, just as long as we're moving forward, they are being installed.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think they're really motivated.
Going once, going twice.
Yep. Sold.
Bobby, did you have anything new for us?
I did. 2 updates.
Okay.
The Flint Hills welding facility project. I'm waiting on one piece of information, and then I would like to, if you, Mr. Don, you had once said that you would meet with Mr. Bernie and propose whatever is going to be proposed, along with Flint Hills. Flint Hills will be with you.
As long as,
Yes, sir.
so I don't wanna be singled out, that all of us need to be on board with 110% of what, you know, what we're in a position to do, so.
It won't be 100%.
I believe if we have
You'll think
somebody meet
110% work.
with said to, like, try to cut a deal, work a deal, I think we need to have one other person there.
Okay.
That way is, there's no he said, she said, we
Yeah.
said type
I
stuff.
don't wanna get involved in anything, it's not.
Right, or record. But I would just soon have a third party there, personally. I don't know what y'all's feelings are. I think
I agree.
I think
I agree.
sure.
So 2 commissioners.
I would say probably 2 commissioners, or a commissioner and another party.
How about,
Andrew, it could even be Andrew, it could be Barb, it could be whoever, just as long as there's 3 people there that have to agree on what was said. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
the way I feel. I mean, I just think it keeps us out of hot water.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take Andrew, she's our administrative assistant, I think yet, Mel, I'm not sure where you are yet or not now, because we're not sure what your title is.
And
But we'll
here's
take
the
her.
other thing, Angie's got a recorder, I'm sure, that can be pressed play. I know, well, Heidi's got the recorder for zoning and planning, person can send her as well to record.
Yeah.
this is the focus of the meeting, is to propose something that's no skin in the game for the county, so to speak.
Mhm.
Now, we're having to coordinate everything, act as facilitator, that's what I'm doing. But what we hit Mr. Bernie with, I'm sure he's gonna hit the ceiling and come back down. That's what the role of the commissioner is to assess that and say, well, he didn't like that, or he, you know, or he thought that was good. And then come back to the collective and, maybe a decision be made on another conversation at that point.
Yeah, I don't, if Dawn's got a good working relationship, knows the individual, I mean.
I probably wouldn't know him if he walked through the doors, I haven't seen him since junior college days.
Yes, sir.
I say it.
I mean, it's been 55 years since I've even seen him. I just know the name and know a little bit about the family, so someone else would be better qualified than I am. Relationship is not there.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Just remembering the name from junior college days.
I don't know. Tom?
Well, I'm not too sure then I'll be a chairman or vice, but whoever.
Whoever's interested. That's
Makes no difference to me.
I don't know. I'm excited about Flint Hills moving here
Yeah.
and stuff, so it's where we all want.
It's gonna take place in Burlington,
Probably. Yes, sir.
so I know Tom's very busy, I'm very busy as well.
I think all commissioners' responsibility for this is to sit and listen, not to be a part of it.
Yeah, you're exactly correct.
So, I mean, you got Bobby, and you got Flint Hills, and who else is in on it?
That'd probably it, unless the mayor of Burlington wants to be there.
Unless it's just, other than that, it's the commission, it's just a set.
When's the projected date that you're looking at?
I'm being pushed by Flint Hills, they wanna move forward, so, probably, it's supposed to be Tuesday or Wednesday of this week, which would be tomorrow or Wednesday, but
I'm tied up tomorrow and Wednesday.
short notice, yes, sir. Whenever Mr. Bernie agrees to meet, then I'll try to pull everybody together.
In reality, I'm not even sure that a commissioner ought to be there, because to me, that's kind of trying to put a little bit of pressure on somebody. I think if Bobby's there for us, if Andrea goes as a witness, and then, I don't like the idea that you send commissioners out, and, because to me, that kind of.
It might cause a little.
You put pressure on people. And I don't know if that's the way, and of course, when you get there as commissioner, you can't say anything anyway,
Yeah.
because you're not representing the commission, so.
You're just an individual.
Yep. I mean,
I would say-
that's why we hire Bobby to do that.
I would say between Bobby and have Andrea go with the record.
To me, that's.
I think that would be totally fine, unless you don't want to.
I don't wanna record them. I don't wanna,
I don't think you need to record.
yeah.
I was gonna say if a commissioner went, I'd wanna make dang sure it was recorded, that way you've got proof. You just as a witness of what is being said is, and vice versa, I think that would probably be
Okay.
be fine with me.
Fine with me.
I think there needs to be somebody else,
Yeah.
personally.
You can take notes.
Mhm.
You can take notes.
Mhm.
You don't have to record, but you can take notes.
I think that's the safest thing for the commission.
Yes, sir. That'd be the way it is then. The second thing, on the 14th, the new incoming Secretary of Commerce, his name is Paul Hughes. It's been Lieutenant Governor David Tolan, but he's on his way out. He's a Democrat, and he is likely going to run for Secretary of Treasurer for the state of Kansas. So he's out of the whole economic development game, Secretary of Commerce game. Now the new guy is a Republican. His name is Paul Hughes, and he's coming to town on the 14th, right around lunchtime. Yes, sir. If any of you commissioners would like to meet him, he'll be downstairs. So, opportunity to shake his hand and say hello.
Crack me a text message, remind me. I'll see what, there's potential I'm gonna be out running Thursday, Friday.
Yes, sir.
I should be around.
Okay. That's it. That's all I
I'd
have.
like to meet him.
Thanks, Bobby. All right, thanks, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Angie just let me know that the auditor will most likely be here on Monday, the 25th,
Okay,
to work the budget up and make any changes needed.
okay. Anybody got any last minute stuff? If not, we will adjourn for the day at 1:21.
Hey, Bob, is that your file?
No.
It must be mine then.